Yellow, yellow, yellow. What's up, TikTok? What's up, YouTube? What's up, my fellow Texan? How's it going? What's up, Duke? Can y'all believe it? Can y'all believe it's Friday? Watch out for ice in El Paso. What's going on? Someone says, let me debate you. Guys, we are doing debates. If you want to debate, hop in the box. Otherwise, tap the screen. Let's get this sent out to more people. Let's get this popping. I'm against human trafficking at liberal support. You prefer state-sanctioned human trafficking. Got it. Test, test, test. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop into the box. What's up, Cecil?
What do you say, Pickles? Thanks for taking my call, buddy.
Anytime.
You're the best. Missed you. I was going to ask you, did you hear about that volcano that erupted in 2022? It was called Honga Tonga.
No. What about
See,
it?
I'm surprised. Yeah. Well, it released 150 million metric tons of water into the atmosphere. I was just reading all about it. I'm surprised I didn't hear about it. This thing was huge.
You mean carbon?
No, the thing actually went off underwater. So it spewed water vapor. It came out of the ocean. It's a crazy story, dude. I mean, I think I barely remember just hearing about it, but it should have been a bigger thing. Like I said, it released 150 million tons of water vapor into the stratosphere, which was an additional 10% of what was already there.
Nice.
So can you imagine?
Significant?
Well, so immediately me being into global warming, I was like, oh my gosh, if we're going to, because it increased the amount of water vapor by 10%. And we already know that water vapor is the most potent greenhouse gas. You agree with that, right? Because you looked it up one time.
Yeah, we also agree volcanoes are one of the biggest contributors to like global warming, right?
Not really. Compared to like human emissions, cars and whatnot, this is what I read anyway. Volcanoes pale in comparison. I mean, if that were the case, if volcanoes were heating up the planet, then we wouldn't have to hate on mankind so much, right?
Well, what we have to agree on is that, or what amount is man-made. So of course we see that, okay, annually human activities produce about 100 times the carbon dioxide of Earth's volcanic eruptions. So they're pretty potent, but yeah, not as bad as humans.
But in this case, Honga Tonga actually was very potent as far as greenhouse gases go. We ended up with 10% more water vapor in the atmosphere than previous. So I guess my question is, if we know that water vapor is a more potent greenhouse gas, not only because there's more of it, but because pound for pound, it absorbs more of the infrared light that gets reflected off of Earth, you know, the greenhouse effect. If we know that water vapor is the most potent, and yet we just had an increase of 10%, and that was in 2022, immediately I was like, well, gosh, that seemed like that would have caused the planet to heat up. Well, guess what? In 2023, they said it was the hottest on record since 2016. But here's the kicker: they say it wasn't because of an increase in the most potent greenhouse gas water vapor. They said no, it was hot because of, you guessed it, man-made, carbon emissions. So my point is, it's so obvious to anyone who's unbiased about it, if you're just, looking at it with fresh eyes, that there's bias against humans in every single situation. We always want to blame humans, and I came up with a fancy word for it.
This would be like a gotcha if like one person was doing all of these things, but I think to point out these things in different lights and different perspectives, depending on what's happening, doesn't really prove anything.
Well, science is about proof, and the thing that's lacking in science today is skepticism, which you seem to like, have an aversion to skepticism, but skepticism,
I'm also reading water vapor released by volcanoes does not cause permanent greenhouse effects. It's a potent greenhouse
most
gas. Volcanic water vapor has short atmospheric lifespan, days to months.
2 or 3 years is what I read. But here's the thing: a lot of these volcanoes that go off, like there was a big one in 1991, there was one in 1982. Those primarily expelled sulfates and hardly any water vapor. What was different about this one was it was just a lot of water vapor, and it got pushed into the stratosphere, which is like 35 miles up. But like I said, oh gosh, all this water vapor, surely that's going to cause the planet to warm up. Oh yeah, it's the hottest on record, but it has nothing to do with the
You
water
need
vapor.
this red herring, but I just dismantled it. No one says that it just lasts years. It says days to months. You need this red
Like I
herring
said,
for all of science to be tricking you and to be against you and to
that's
say
months in the troposphere, but
it
this
goes
went into the stratosphere. This went into the stratosphere, which is different. The stratosphere is
it's
higher.
global warming its warming
As a
impact is
matter of
very
fact, it even
temporary,
made it to the
and it's also
mesosphere.
often canceled out by cooling from sulfur dioxide.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. See,
Nobody disagrees with you there.
well, I just think it's pretty handy, convenient little thing. Oh, all this water vapor, it didn't. We had the hottest on record in 2023, but it has nothing to do with the volcano. It's all human, mankind. And because, oh, and how do you
Well,
explain it? Oh, well,
you
it
already
created
pointed
these
out.
sulfates.
You already pointed out
Huh?
humans are 100 times more, uh, like worse for the environment than volcanoes. So yeah, nobody's going to talk about something that
Exactly.
was
If you feel that way,
temporary, that was underwater, that did temporary water vapor in the atmosphere. Nobody's crying about that. We can't help that. We can't stop
crying,
that.
I'm not even sure the
We
point
can't
that
stop
you're
that.
making.
It's 100 times more worth to point out our contribution to this.
It's worse to point out our contributions, is what
No,
you just
it's a
said.
100 times more worth to point out
Oh, it's
our
worth it.
contribution. Yeah.
Okay.
Why would we point out
Well,
something that's natural and be like, dang, everybody needs to watch out for that thing that's like 100 times less harmful than us?
because it gives us context. It gives us context, like this tipping point that we're supposedly at. Um, right now, we've got 427 parts per million. Every physicist agrees that the way CO2 is, it has this weird effect where when you double it, it'll go up 1 degrees. So if you went from 400 to 800 parts per million, and everyone pretty much agrees that'll bring us up 1 degree Celsius in temperature. Now, to go to another degree Celsius, to double it, you have to double the 800 and now go to 1600 parts per million. In other words, the more CO2 that shows up in the environment, the less heating effect it has. That's a fact. You can look it up. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I was listening to him today, and because they were talking about the heat of 2023, and I watched the whole thing to see if they would bring up Hunga Tonga. And of course, they didn't.
Why would
So
they?
it's just, well, let me put it to you this way, Pickles. You don't have to be a scientist, you don't have to be a physicist. All you have to be is a casual observer of human nature, and you can see it's all bullshit. This global warming. In the
I don't think so, man.
1970s,
I don't think
listen,
so.
in the 1970s, they were talking about global cooling. All right, are you aware of that?
We're
You think it's a
we're a lot more advanced now, right? We have like a global network now of scientists that talk every day, every second, and check each other's work. It's a little
oh, are
different.
we? are we advanced as a species? Because there's a billion people on the planet that don't have electricity.
Yeah,
Do you know
that's
why
you're just
that is?
straw manning the fact that
No,
this is
no.
the
I'm
case,
telling you
though.
that there's.
Everybody
I'm
who's
telling
doing
you.
meaningful science is putting it somewhere where we can check each other.
Oh, dude, you don't have a clue about the people doing meaningful science. You think Tony Heller's the only guy out there. Totally ignore the guys I've mentioned. John Clauser, who's a physicist who got the Nobel Prize in physics, who says there's no. Look, dude. You just have a lot to learn about it. It doesn't mean that you can still you get to stop hating humans. You can still hate on humans all day long. Look at the plastic. The turtles are choking on plastic. There's plastic everywhere. There's plastic in your nutsack right now. I mean, there's plastic freaking everywhere. That's what we should be mad at. I'm part Native American.
You know what
Okay, the
I'm mad
waters
at?
to me, the waters are precious. But pumping CO2 in the air and then calling it pollution and then spending millions of dollars and then there's countries in Africa, Senegal, and other places where the green movement is preventing them from getting electricity.
That
Yeah,
is not
it's
true.
a yeah, it's true. It's true.
That's not true.
Uh,
I don't think so. China's out there just giving
you don't
everyone
think so?
free highways, free electricity. Africa doesn't want anything to do with us.
None of it. Nothing's free, dude. Everything China does is a strategic
Yeah,
move.
yeah, the thing that we just stopped doing with USAID.
The ripoff. You don't want to start talking about fraud, do you? Seriously, because you guys are riddled with it. You got fraud all over you. I mean, it's just
Okay,
ridiculous.
your
In
guy,
fact,
your guy
honestly,
is
this is
convicted
why I
of
like to
fraud.
stick to science because if we have to talk about how pathetic the Democrats are, it gets sad real old. I have most of my friends are Democrats. My parents are Democrats. I don't really like to point out that you guys have jumped the shark and that you look totally ridiculous and you've become the laughing stock of the whole country. I'd prefer just to talk about CO2 and the hoax that everyone is believing in
I
because
think that the
why hurt your
whole
feelings?
world is looking at y'all, and y'all are a little. You guys just do have this unique perspective on this. Everybody knows that y'all are some weird anti-science. Like for some
Says
reason,
the guy that thought
like
that we had 90% of the atmosphere was CO2, and we're the anti-science ones.
I'm not the one trying to have contrarian beliefs to all of
It's
science.
not contrarian. It's called the scientific. Let me ask you this. Okay, I keep talking about John Clauser, the guy that got the Nobel Prize. In 2023, in July of 2023, he was supposed to give a speech at the IMF. I think that's the International Monetary Fund, maybe a UN offshoot or something. So he was going to go give his little speech because he was recently awarded in 2022 the Nobel Prize. And as soon as the organizers found out that he was going to give a speech about how great CO2 is, they canceled him. So, my question to you, Pickles, is that the scientific spirit? Is that how we progress? Is by shunning? I mean, I think this has happened before. People that used to think that, the earth revolved around the sun were sometimes burnt at the stake. Sometimes women who, sometimes during droughts, our country's
You're
had a lot
you're
of
not
droughts,
going to
they
start.
burned women to the stake and called them witches
You're
because
not
they
going to
thought they could
pretend
control the
like you're this
weather.
oppressed class for having this like this genius way of looking at things that
It's not a
science doesn't
genius
want
way.
you
The
to.
math, the
You
math
you
doesn't add up. There's
no
nothing genius about it.
The
You
math
just have
adds
to
up
take
every
off your.
day. Every single day, people use science and they rely on this math and this data to get us to other fucking planets, other moons. No one needs your help. No one needs the silly ideas of this man on YouTube who's been proven wrong 1,000 times in just one video I've seen. The
Okay,
guy's
you saw one
crazy.
video.
He
You know what,
perpetuates nonsense
Pickles,
thinking.
you pulled up that video from Potholder, but I didn't ask you to. I said, tell me the name of that video so I could go watch it later. And instead of doing that, you pulled it up, bored the hell out of all your viewers, and I got booted off because you wanted to have a debate by proxy, which is your signature move. You're into
You
gaming, right?
if
That's your signature move,
if you
buddy.
want answers on this, you would go debate somebody who could debate this. You don't want it.
Debate.
You don't want the truth. You don't want to go debate Blitz on this, right?
What do you mean I don't want the truth?
Go debate
I read.
Blitz.
I
Go
watch.
ask
It's
him
my
your
passion. I read
questions.
about it. In
Go
fact, I
ask him.
sometimes I think I'm wrong.
Go
How
ask
often do you think you're
Doctor
wrong?
Blitz your questions. Go ask him.
How how confident on a percentage wise are you that the humans are causing the planet to warm up catastrophically?
99.
Okay, well, see, I'm about 80% sure of where I'm coming from. So that tells me that you're just brainwashed. because you don't know anything about it. The
No,
more you
I
study
have.
about this, the less convinced you will be of man-made global warming. Look, I'm probably going to get booted here real soon, so I want to share with you this word that I came up with, and I want to get your idea on it. Okay, you heard the word anthropogenic, anthropomorphic. It's anthro. This it involves pertains to humans, right?
Okay.
Okay. When you have a hatred, a natural hatred for mankind, for the human race of all races, I call that anthropatheticism. You're anthropathetic. Not you personally. It's just an anthropatheticism is just when you never want to give mankind the benefit of the doubt. You think we're destroying the planet. It's the hubris. You think we have more power than we really do. But basically, you just hate the human race. And it shows in everything that you guys do. I mean, it shows in your comedy where you can't laugh at anything. And we talked about this before, and you brought up Dave Chappelle. And I wanted to tell you, I heard him talking about Charlie Kirk the other day, and you could learn a lot from Dave Chappelle, honestly, because you and Charlie Kirk, I've listened to both of you guys a lot, and you have a lot in common. But the main thing that you have in common is this: you want to foster conversation and debate, because the opposite of that is violence. So we can either communicate with each other like we're doing right now, and like I heard you do the other day with a Trump supporter, and you and the other guy were like, oh my gosh, you're just so aberrational. Nobody is like this as a Trump supporter, but you're different. No, that's the beauty of Trump supporters. We are diverse. We're black, we're white, we're Asians, we're all sorts of
You are not
religions, we're
diverse.
everything. You guys are just a cult because you all think the same. And if one of you steps out of line, oh my God, there's hell to pay. You start shaming each other. It's sad. It's a real sad movement. And I
All
really,
right, I
truly feel
want to
sorry
debate you
for
on
you
that. I
guys.
want to debate you on that because the whole idea of conservatism is to conserve this secret culture no one knows about. You guys all say that somehow we are washing the culture of America into
That's your
something else.
definition.
So
That's your
whatever you're trying to do,
definition.
conservatism is that. So if you're outside of the like Christian movement, if you're Muslim, for instance, you're othered.
I'm not
If you're
Christian.
trans, if you're gay, if you're bi, you're othered by the Republican Party.
I'm
You're
not
talked
Christian. Am
about.
I othered?
You're
Am I?
legislated
I'm
against
not Christian. I've told you
500
this
times
before.
a
I'm
year.
not
I
Christian.
don't care. No one's hung up on that. I'm saying that these are the ideas the Republican Party espouses. In our party, we say if you're a minority group, if you're some other type of person, we love you and we tolerate you and we're a big tent. And you come here, if you are being othered by the Republicans, you are safe here.
Well, nobody others in the Republican Party. You guys just try to make
Yeah.
that
What about
caricature of
trans
us.
people? What about migrants? What about undocumented people? What about
What
gay
about
people?
them?
What about blue-haired people?
What about them?
What
I know
about
plenty of
you
gay people
guys?
who are Trump
You
supporters.
guys
I know
meme
plenty of
on
minorities. I
anybody
know plenty of
who thinks
immigrants
for
who
themselves. You
see
meme on
you guys.
everybody who wants to go to
You're what it
school.
is you're you're in a box. You're like you're limited by your own unimaginative mentality. You can't see that someone could think differently than you. So it's just so rigid, and which is odd
Because
because
we
what's
just
weird
don't
about it is when it
tolerate
comes to
intolerance.
I know I've heard you say that a million times, but bigotry is the intolerance of other people's beliefs, and you guys are bigoted. You want
That's
to
not
like
true. So like
you've already put.
Muslims, Christians, all those people are under our tent and we don't have problems with that.
You don't think we have Muslims under our tent? You don't think we've got
You guys have a
black
bunch of
people? As a matter of
anti-Muslim
fact, I
propaganda
think it's
going
pretty
on right
much
now.
proven that Donald Trump has brought in more people from across the aisle than any Republican in the last 100 years. Can you name someone that brought it that crossed? I mean, he got more
Yes.
of the minority vote than George Bush Sr. I mean, who?
He's not
Who
you're
has
not
done
looking
better?
that's not
Who
going
has
to
done
happen
better?
after
And
this.
here's the beauty: he's not even a real conservative. I mean, he was a Democrat at one
He's
time.
ultra
He still
conservative.
has gay marriages at Mar-a-Lago. I don't think a true fundamentalist would
You're
do
just
something like
tokenizing
that.
things he does, but what's more important,
Tokenizing. No one ever
you're
called him a
what's
racist
more
until after
important,
he stepped into politics.
what's
Before
more
that, they were all
important
dangling from
are
his
the
nuts.
actions he does. So when he does $200 million worth of anti-trans ads to get all of the people who don't know anything about trans people to be icky about them, to be like, I don't want them in my bathrooms and my sports, even though it's not happening, it's not an issue, he's pulling y'all's heartstrings and getting your knee-jerk reaction out of the dumbest shit. That's
Mhm.
y'all. You're so easy
Well,
to lead around by your nose.
I know. You just think that he's the one that gets us riled up, but he's the one who speaks for us after we're already riled up for what we see on TV that doesn't have anything to do with Donald Trump. I mean, come on.
What'd you see on TV that was hurting your feelings about
Well,
Trump?
here's the thing. You always talk about the one single person that got killed by an illegal, and you pretend that's the only person when everyone who listens to you knows there's dozens, hundreds. And so
Dozens.
I was going to compile a list and, throw them out to you. But then I thought, that's not very
That does
respectful to
nothing.
these people.
That does
Well,
nothing for anybody.
it disrespects the people that died, because here's the
Yeah,
thing. We all know that it's
it
happening,
does.
and you can throw your numbers around. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to throw names and numbers, because we're getting what we wanted. So why complain if our president is doing exactly what not only we wanted him to do, but your side wants it too? Because every time they get polled, they say we need to fix immigration. You guys had President Lobotomy in there for 4 years who didn't do jack diddly squat. The only thing he did was say, "Hey guys, come on over. The first 100 days, there's going to be no
Cecil, pause.
deportations." So what do you
Cecil,
think they did
pause.
whenever he said,
Cecil,
okay,
he was the most productive president in modern history.
I know. Only someone that thinks
Legislatively,
only someone who thinks there's an infinite number of genders could see it that way. So
nobody
you're
did
just,
anything
you're
about that.
delulu.
So you
Just like
guys,
the people who think they're an
you guys
opposite
think that
gender
our
are
side is
delusional, you're delusional.
all about these gender ideas. None of us are
Well,
sitting out
no,
here
you
doing this
guys,
politically.
that's
None of
not
this.
what it
None of us
is
are.
you guys just put, you treat being open-minded like that's a virtue, but you're so open-minded that your brains have fallen out and you
Right.
don't
So
realize that
now
there's
you
no.
realize that you don't like open-mindedness. Now
No,
you
we
realize
do
it's a
to a
bad thing.
degree. No, it's great. It's great. Look, all my favorite.
Conservatism likes open-mindedness, not progressives.
Of course. What do you think the free market is? See, you
You
think
guys are
that the
so
only
against the free market right now. You have tariffs on the whole world.
we've got a president who's doing what the Democrats said that the other president should do,
But we just
because they
proved your
all
point
said it.
wrong, right?
Say what?
Just proved your point wrong. You're not for
What?
free trade.
Of course, I'm
You're for Trump
free trade.
controlling the trades, like the trade all over the world, specifically to how he
Well,
wants
there's
it.
only one
Not even
person.
Congress.
There's only one person who has that power, and it's the president. And I prefer he used the power that he has, unlike
Congress has
the
that power.
previous.
That's why he just got shot down in Supreme Court.
Didn't he find a workaround for that about 15 minutes later? Boo hoo.
Yeah,
Don't
he had to do
celebrate.
blanket small tariffs, right? Like he can't do what he was doing. In fact,
Here's.
I think he even had his guy who was in charge of all of this, Howard Lutnick, his
Mhm,
sons
uh-huh.
put millions of dollars betting against the fact that these would be shot down by Supreme Court, and they won. They won a fortune. They bought people's rights to the tariffs and the debts,
Mhm,
20 cents on the dollar. And then they
mhm,
made huge money. The guy in charge of this
mhm.
had bets against this failing.
Well, I don't take for granted anything that you say, but usually I'll look it up afterwards. That's how I knew I was wrong about the statistic about black people committing over 50% of the homicides. And I called you up and told you I was wrong about that and stuff. But you need to be a little more open minded, because really I'm bored with politics, and it's your show, and you could boot me anytime. I appreciate the fact that in the past it's always been your listeners who.
All right, Georgia, thank you so much for the $40 for the kick. Scheduled Cecil kick. Thank you, Georgia. Much love. W. Georgia's in the chat. She also says, fuck off, Cecil. Thank you, Georgia. Chat, tap the screen, follow if you enjoy these debates. Yellow.
Yo,
What's up? Is this a
I'm
Trump supporter?
23 from Cali. You know what? If it's only Trumpers, then I'm a friendly. My bad.
Hi there.
I
I'm a
appreciate
Trump
you.
supporter.
Oh no. Where are you from, Mr.
That's
Trump
right.
supporter?
I am from the great state of Kentucky. No, wait, never mind. Hold on. I'm from West Virginia.
Oh, so you're
That's
freaky.
right. That's right. Changing it up.
You're freaky.
That's what we're talking about. Me and my husband.
Husband. Oh my god.
That's right.
Have you been, Mr. Johnny?
Dude, I'm alive, and that's the vibe. How have you been, man? How's life? How's life treating you?
It's been okay. It's been okay.
Okay. Okay's not good.
Yeah. I went to a funeral yesterday. My grandma One of my last grandparents died, so we're.
Ah, pickles. I'm so sorry.
I appreciate you. We're making it.
We're making it though.
Yeah. Where are you at now? Are you still on the road?
I don't know how to say where I am without it sounding not believable, so I'm just gonna not say where I am.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Long story. Dude, they just opened up a McDonald's down the street from me. Pretty cool stuff.
Ooh. What's your favorite thing at McDonald's besides the?
Oh no, I don't eat it. I just go there to dumpster dive for the toys after they throw them all out at the end of each week.
Do they have any new Beanie Baby toys yet?
It's 2026, brother. They haven't had new Beanie Baby toys since 1996.
Yeah. They need to make more Beanie Babies.
Man, I know.
Did you ever go through the line like 3 times when they did that? My grandma was obsessed with them, and we would go through the line to get like 4 sets of Beanie Babies.
For Beanie Babies? No, I wasn't even a twinkle in my father's you know what before they were out of style.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
They were gone long before I was born.
You missed out, dude. You missed out. The hysteria around those Beanie Babies was crazy.
Dang, man. Does your birth year start with the 19 or something?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy work. I'm sorry.
Fuck you, Johnny.
It's okay, man. I'm aging like mayonnaise, so it's what it is.
Boot Johnny the fetus.
Johnny the fetus is crazy work. I had Zuzu pets. I didn't have Beanie Babies. I had Zuzu pets.
What's a Zuzu pet?
It's a hamster. Yep. Yep.
Did they run around?
They were supposed to, but they never actually did.
Did you ever have a chia pet or a Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi, I had one of those. Yeah, I had a Tamagotchi. Yep. And the what were they called? The silly bands. That was the thing. I was in like I think first grade or something like that. That was a big thing. No, I wasn't old enough for slap bracelets. That was gone before. Yeah. Wow, man, you're really dating yourself here, huh?
Yeah, the truth behind those slap bracelets, if you open them up, they're old recycled measuring tape.
Oh, so okay, so pain was just a thing, huh?
Yeah.
Dang. That's crazy work. Johnny is 25. Johnny is 25 in a few days. We're almost
Really?
25. We're not there yet. Yeah.
Strategic.
Yep.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Hey, Pickles. No, if I can just get like maybe 30 seconds here, I'm just feeling a bit depressed at this moment. I was watching a clip from C-SPAN, and there was a 65-year-old lady that was just crying on there because in the past year she lost 28 pounds due to food insecurity. And when Biden was president, she was getting $80 a month under food assistance. And now Trump came in and reduced it down to 24. And then a few months later, reduced her down to $12.50 a month. And she's blind, and was stating that she's having a hard time paying her bills. Her propane tank is much more expensive and everything. And it just like really sent me through the roof here. Like, it's just like, how much more cruel can this administration get?
Yeah.
Like, and we hear every day from these people that, you know, like, oh, gas is cheap, my eggs are cheap, but yet we're seeing real people saying they can't afford things. 65 years old. I'm like, my dad is 67 and just retired. If it wasn't for me and my sister here, he would be in the same predicament himself.
Well, I I appreciate you coming up. I'm gonna try to focus on getting debates up here, man. But thanks for giving us that.
Yep, you're welcome, and talk to you later, Pickles and Johnny.
Alrighty.
I'll tell you what. I'm telling you right now, Pickles, you ain't gonna find a Trump support. Oh,
Yo,
dang.
why'd you let a fucking Muslim up here?
What?
No, I'm just trolling. I'm just trolling. What's up, man?
What?
I'm actually Arab. I'm not Muslim though. I'm Orthodox.
What?
Yeah.
No, okay. I don't even know where to go from. I'm just going on mute. I don't even know what to. I'm not equipped for these conversations.
What,
Yeah,
are you
okay,
a Trump
man.
supporter?
No.
Okay.
Pickles. Do
Guys, I just work here. I don't.
Do I
can't
look? But
Hey, Johnny.
I
Johnny.
don't. Do I? Do I?
Hello, Twan. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I just want to tell Johnny I love the work he doing, and I love the work you doing too, Pickles. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate you, Twan. You take it easy, man.
You too, man.
For democracy to work, everyone must support the leader chosen by the majority. For
Pickles.
democracy to work, the leader has to lead everybody, even if they didn't choose him. So he's got to play nice. He's got to stop demonizing half the country every single time he talks.
No, I disagree. We need more demonization. You know, actually, more, a lot of it, just so much of it. You know, it just needs to start coming from the left, right? We got to do our part, everybody. All right, chat. Here's an exercise. Everybody, pick a person you're going to demonize and comment their name in the chat. I'll start. Lauren Boebert. All right, everybody, pick a person. Let's do a little division here. What are we thinking? Pickles, who you got?
Well, MTG's not in there anymore. Mancy Nace.
Mancy Nace.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah, Mancy Nace. You're already demonizing her. This is perfect. Yep, dehumanize her. That's perfect, Pickles. All right, next up, everybody, take the person and dehumanize them in the best way you think possible, okay? All right. I see a lot of good ones here. I see Triple K, Christy Noam. That's good right there. All right, perfect. You're already off to a good start. Okay. A lot of Pam Bondies. This is good. See, Pickles, some people say positive reinforcement and a pathway to community is the way to go, but I say negative reinforcement and division is the proper way to win.
KKK Caroline Levitz.
Caroline.
Bible thumping Barbie.
That's good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Pickles, you have a primary coming up on Tuesday, man. How you feeling?
I know.
You nervous? You excited?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Chad, if we can get some more dehumanization. Christy D, Killer Gnome. I like that.
Pete Keg's breath.
Ooh, Pete Keg's breath.
Yep.
I'm not good with this. Dr. Oz, what a fucking idiot. What an idiot.
Yep. You guys are doing great in the chat. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's all about, you know, they're going to tell you community. No, division.
Cash Patel, someone told me, I heard the other day that Cash Patel looks like he just saw his first pair of boobs every time.
That's crazy. But yeah, I think that's about right. Y'all, there's like 500 people in here. Are y'all showing Pickles love? Y'all, okay, all right, everybody exercises. We're all exercising. Ready? Repost, share the live. Everybody reposting and sharing the live. We're tapping the screen. Let's get Pickles to 50,000 likes at minimum. All right, tapping the screen. Come on, y'all. And let's get all of the demonization in the chat, okay? All right? None of this unity nonsense, all right?
My volume on the tube is very low. Again? thought I fixed it. Okay. Yellow, are you a Trump supporter? Yeah. Chad, if you're a Trump supporter and you're not too ashamed of it, come up and tell us why you support Trump. Shouldn't be hard. He's the greatest president of all time. Should have a lot to say. Howard Nutlick. I love that. Peter Thiel, the guy who's definitely not a lizard in a man suit. Uh-oh. I see you. I got your thing hidden. Be sure to appeal. Let me know when you do that. Chad, if you're a Trump supporter, you wanted the ham blondie. Dude, she's such a mess. Did you see her get flustered and just like start resorting to her propaganda notes in that congressional hearing? What a weirdo. Scam Bondi. She was definitely a mean girl in high school. Either that or she was picked on a lot. Now she's got to exert her authority.
Pam Bondi was definitely not the mean girl in high school. Come on now, guys. Come on now. None of these people in this administration were the mean kids in high school. Absolutely not. They give off the energy of the people who wanted to be Regina George, but were not Regina George.
Nobody's getting in any debates lately. Typical. Or MAGA.
Oh yeah, MAGA's gone.
MAGA dead, chat.
Yeah. They've been kicked off of the platform. They're gone. Dude, I had 8 Republicans come up today, okay? And 6 out of the 8 said they regretted their vote. The 2 who said they still supported Donald Trump were literally endorsing the SA of straight up underaged individual. I'm trying to be very specific because TikTok lingo, I don't want to like mess up your platform, but yeah. And I'm like, okay, 6 out of 8 regret, and the 2 who don't are insane. Okay.
I requested it must have been kicked. I'll pull you back up. Yellow? We can't hear you when you minimize the app. Lots of regretful Trump voters. I want to know how many of them have heard about the pesticide Roundup issue. Yellow?
Oh, no, I'm here. I just had my side notes on my phone for when you guys wanted to start spewing your, left stuff.
Oh, what do you like about Trump?
No, he's not a typical politician. He's not bought off by corporate America.
What?
He's not the typical politician, but
All right. Let me debate you on that. He's not bought off. This week, he made an executive order to remove the restrictions on using Roundup, which is a pesticide.
See,
that
now, hold on. This is where like I was trying to minimize my screen and I can't see you because
Yeah.
you have a computer screen in front of you
You want me to pull it
versus
up
where
for
I
you?
had my notes. Oh no, yeah. Let's post.
Okay. So
But you're going to show everything that is pro your topic versus where if I could pull up mine, but I can't talk to you on TikTok if I have you minimize on my screen
you
where my
shouldn't
points that I want to
you
bring up.
shouldn't need notes for this.
All right, but you're okay. Well, then you shut your computer off and let's talk.
Cool. So what do you think about Trump enabling pesticides that are currently in the courts for causing cancer? Trump has enabled pesticides like Roundup to be sprayed on our
This
crops as a matter of national
my,
security. And he also has disallowed the local governments to warn its citizens of this thing, of the
why would
harms of
he?
Roundup.
Okay, so if you're talking about pesticides, why would he put RFK in charge of the food administration that can't even put food dyes in cereals anymore?
Yeah, it's
Now
just the
you
con. That's the con. So like the left has always been for stricter things. The right has always been for removing these things from corporations so they can make more money. That's how this works.
okay? So hold on. So this is the first I'm even hearing about it. So you're telling me that Trump has said it's okay for pesticides, but those companies have already been sued multiple times, right? Roundup just got how many years ago did they have to pay millions of dollars? Am I right?
Yeah,
So even if Trump says it's okay, they could still be sued as a company, correct?
they are still being used. So Trump has obviously been paid off, and he is allowing Roundup to continue to be sprayed on our crops, and he doesn't want citizens to know the harms.
Okay, but those companies can still be sued, correctly?
So you want people to get cancer and then get sued? Do you think that's the right way to
Sort of like
go?
all the dyes and everything that RFK
We
has
don't
been
have
talking
cancer
about,
causing
who is a
dyes.
Democrat. Hold on. I'm not talking about cancer, but all the other things that are put in cereals and everything else that we're talking about trying to have removed.
This is
Correct?
like this is low IQ right-wing propaganda. So when you think about Trump, when he says he wants to remove restrictions on corporations, he hates consumer protections,
Hold,
he hates regulations. For every one regulation we add, he wants to remove 10. How does that line up with the silly shit RFK is saying?
okay, so how does what you just said line up with raid or dyes and everything else?
I don't know, but our side has always been for more regulation, more consumer protections. Your side always less. So they just tricked people. Like our side says this all the time, and the second some old man with a weird voice says it, you guys are like, "Eureka! This is
Hold on,
brilliant."
hold on a second. When you said our side and your side,
Yeah.
do you even know what side I am?
Okay. If you're voting for MAGA, you are far, far right. Far right.
No, I'm libertarian. So where am I?
Okay. Nobody's actually libertarian that supports MAGA.
I am.
Yeah. How do you feel about free trade?
Free trade. I don't think Nancy Pelosi should be
What do you think about free trade?
free trade. I think that it's not a topic that I'm
That's a
up to.
very libertarian idea, right?
Okay. Well,
How do you
you
feel
know
about
what?
open borders?
Okay, that would be like saying,
That's
hold
libertarian.
on, hold on. Oh, open borders?
Yeah,
Nah,
that's
no,
libertarian,
I'm
right?
very much as not. Hold on, that's like trying to say like a white person likes X and a black person likes X. No,
No.
no, you're sticking a
literally-
stigma to certain. No, you're sticking a stigma
Libertarians-
to certain people.
The idea of libertarian
Okay,
is
well
small
now you're being
government.
racist. You're being racist right now.
No, libertarians have a platform. This is it. Okay, libertarians have a platform. It's free trade, open borders, small government. None of that
No,
is
because
MAGA. None of that is
I
MAGA.
am more libertarian than Democrat and Republican, and I am for closed borders.
Okay, but you're
Okay,
not
well,
really
guess what? I'm making up
libertarian.
my
That
own
is
one.
that is a conservative idea. So you're like to think you're libertarian for like maybe one idea, but the rest of your ideas are very, very far right. Mass deportation, very
Okay,
far right.
so is that like me? Is that because they have like LGBTQZYXWXYZ? So am I supposed to pick one of those? Like, am I allowed to be
So what
somebody that cares about hold on, don't cut me off, please. And I won't cut you off. Am I allowed to like certain parts of it and not be an extreme MAGA or extreme leftist or agree with libertarian ideas at the same time and believe that yes, we should close off the borders?
Okay. If you put all of your ideas into a thing that maps out your political leaning, you're literally just a far right nut.
How does that make that is the most incorrect statement that I've ever heard in my entire life.
How do you feel about tariffs?
If we're making money off of them, I'm good with them.
So you're not for free trade. That puts you very far right of center. You're for isolationism, which is what type of tariffs Trump is doing. That's even further right. And you like
but I also like John. I also like John Fetterman from Pennsylvania.
that
So
doesn't
what
do
does that
anything.
make me?
That's not a policy. You just like someone's personality, who's, by the way, a spineless idiot. That's not a policy. Okay, so are there any other policies that you would like to put down on the board? Because I'm doing this right now. This is you. This is capitalism. This line right here. This is communism. This is fascism. Okay. You've got things such as this is pretty much right here at the end. Mass deportation would be very, very fascist, very right wing. Trump controlling free trade and corporations, very far right. I don't know.
Do you know how much Trump has made on tariffs?
Trump himself has made like $1.6 billion.
265 billion.
Yeah. Do we get
Now
any of
let me
that?
ask you this. Well, I just switched over in a minute ago because I can't talk to you when I'm minimized. Let me ask you about what's your thoughts on Doge? Do you think that was a good thing for the country or not?
Huge failure. Propaganda failure.
Huge failure
Yeah.
of
What did we get out of it?
canceling tons of contracts that were like doing stuff for like really ridiculous things in other countries. Or
Yeah.
do you think that was like a cover up for money being hided by somebody?
That was Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, being investigated.
Hold on, no, it wasn't. Elon Musk hasn't had anything to do with it since how many months ago?
He was there during
And
USAID,
what would
right?
Elon Musk? Elon Musk already has enough money. Why does he need to hide any money?
Okay, I'm gonna finish my story. Elon Musk was
Okay,
the person
yep,
in
and I
charge of
will not.
Elon Musk was in charge of Doge. When this happened, USAID was cut with no congressional oversight, with no actual real reason. They pulled all of these fake propagandized reasons out of their ass. And then they told you that they saved you $168 billion when it was the total amount. If you actually add up the line items, and people have done this all over the internet, and I can even show you, there's a website called dogewatch.org Observer or something, and it pretty much just says that they saved us $16 billion. And if you look at the litigation that's happening because of all of these wrongful firings and breaches of contracts and all of this other shit, it's costing us money. So we are net negative because of this dumb bastardized idea that Trump brought in and had a public breakup with the person who ran it. Just like we foresaw, just like he did with his last administration. He had a 95% turnover because he can't get along with anybody who doesn't bend a knee, do exactly what he tells them.
Do you think that we have all these lawsuits because everybody is suing Trump because we had all these positions that weren't really needed in the very beginning? And most of the people that were working remote during COVID, and then when the federal government said, hey, guess what? It's time to come back and you have to come back to work. None of them wanted to come back to work and they got upset about it.
No, this is Project 2025. The thing Trump said he had no idea what it was. This was a part of it called Schedule F, and he specifically, in the writing, said that they were going to fire everybody in the federal government under Schedule F, which was roughly 50,000. They got to about 100,000, and they wanted to replace them with Trump loyalists. So it started with the inspector generals, the people who were in charge of the oversight of fraud and all of these things. Anybody who had anything to do with the Democrats appointing them, they were fired and then replaced with people who don't care about how much fraud and abuse actually is happening. And then they tried to tell y'all that we had $1.2 million going to shrimp on treadmills when the actual number was $1,200. And that was not even a real part of the experiment. And then they told y'all that we had $25,000 going to Columbian University for trans theater. And that's not the case. It just simply went to a Columbian University. And they happen to have a theater ran by a trans person. And they just use that to get a knee-jerk reaction out of dumb people. And then they cut it.
Now, the only thing that I'm going to give you your advantage of is you're sitting in front of a computer screen, which when I was trying to minimize mine to give facts, I couldn't because I got muted. There's a couple of points I want to bring up. Minnesota, what's your thoughts on that and Nick Shirley? Is that legit? Not legit?
I think Minnesota is a huge distraction for the Trump campaign, for the Trump administration to point at.
I'm not even talking Trump. I'm just talking in general, like federal funding. You know what I mean?
Saying, hey, look at this. Look at this. This is about Democrats somehow. This is about Democrats.
No, I think that's more a YouTuber bringing it up to the fact, and it's Tim Walz State. And I'm not
Trump
even saying this is
a
a
State of the Union. He says, Democrat, look at all this fraud. And then he, on Truth Social, says, we're going to find even more fraud in California. This is a tenet of fascism. So they're using lawfare, and they're trying to show everybody how corrupt someone is. They're trying to associate crimes they find to left-wing ideology. And it's not the truth. And also, Trump has a huge list of people who did millions of dollars of fraud, defrauding the government, defrauding investors. People like the Chrisleys, they owed the $50 million to the government, pardoned. And the $50 million fine, waived. All of these people that committed fraud, Trump doesn't actually care. They are his friends. He's being paid money for pardons. That, above anything, above any fraud you can point to on any state or city level, is absolutely nothing compared to selling pardons. That's what Trump's doing.
So why is nobody on the left doing any kind of like social media posts on this?
Because Trump is doing this thing called flood the zone. Trump has put so much egregious things in the media and says so many egregious things that nobody can really figure out what's going on. This is a trick that Steve Bannon taught him. This is an old trick for fascism. They just shotgun shit into the air, bullshit lies all through the media. Nobody has any idea what's going on. Did you know that Cuba is in like a existential crisis right now? Like they are fucking literally dying because of us?
Well, I kind of had a feeling about that because of Cuba and Venezuela, and that's why Cuba's trying to give us heads up now on what the hell is going on
No.
with Iran or whatever.
No. Trump has stopped
No.
all oil going to Cuba. Now Cuba has no oil. They can't. They have no running water. They have no electricity. They're just literally lights out. People are dying. There's famine. People are gonna have cholera. People are gonna be fucking dying from diseases here soon. And Trump is stopping all people like Russia trying to send humanitarian aid. Mexico is sending a little bit, but it's not even close to enough. Nobody knows anything that's going on right now. Trump's talking about invading Greenland. Trump's trying to break up NATO. Trump is trying to take control and nationalize elections.
Hold on. Let's bring up Greenland real quick. We understand why he was trying to be persuasive on Greenland, right?
No. He fractured NATO. All of our NATO allies sent troops to Greenland just to show their support behind Greenland and Denmark. And Trump talked about military action. He talked about that. He's a warmonger.
I know, but you realize why we need military access to Greenland.
So we already have it.
And you know what? I'm going. You know what? I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to 1,000%.
Lied when he said that and tried to justify his actions.
Oh, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Trump as a person is a complete, utter asshole. But as a politician, I fucking love him. And I'm sorry to use that word on your live.
Sense. So the whole world looks at us like we're the bad guys. Like we're now Russia. We are now being ran by a tyrant.
Being run by a tyrant sometimes doesn't look so bad.
To who?
To the whole world, to China and North Korea. When was last time you heard about Kim Jong Un talking about launching missiles?
So 3 weeks after Trump got in a picture with him, he started launching missiles again.
No, when was last time though? Hold on, but when was that? That was his first term.
Yeah.
Right. Little Rocket Man's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, he was quiet during Biden too, right?
Yeah, which I'm very surprised. If anything, I thought Rocket Man would have started launching stuff during Biden's.
Our worst adversaries are now emboldened because of Trump. We are a wet dream to Russia. We are a wet dream to all of these other countries who joined Trump's fucking circle of peace or whatever administration. Nothing but dictators.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing of a circle of peace. And I'm going to agree with you on that. They're all just waiting for the 4 years to go out. They're waiting for the 4 years to be over, and then they'll do whatever they're going to do.
Trump is
like China. They're never ever going to.
He's chair for life. Trump is head chair for life. What do you mean?
Head chair for life? No. What I'm saying is the other countries, look at China. When was the last time that whatever Xi or whatever the hell his name was it, you get elected and you're in there for 10, 20 years? Look at Putin. They're in there forever.
No. Putin pretends to have elections. Xi Jinping is actually they think in terms of tens and like decades, hundreds of years. Putin pretends to have elections. He assassinates his political opponents. They fall off of balconies and they die of poison and cancer.
I know.
This is.
I know, but what I'm saying is all the other countries, if I'm not wrong, they know that Trump is going to be done in 3 years.
No, they don't.
Right?
What? Who says that?
No. His term's going to be done in whatever. What, he start 2026?
He's already trying to nationalize elections to keep himself in
power. Stop that. He can't do it.
But
he's talked about it.
He's trying to.
No, so he's brought it up. Come on, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
The only way that he's going to be able to do it is if he starts a war. And that would be his only outlet.
Like Iran?
With anyone.
Like with Iran?
Yeah. So that's why he's not doing it right now.
We have 2 carrier ships right now outside of Iran.
Nah, we're going to bomb them this week. Now, what I'm saying is at time of election, if we're in a war, yes, you're right. But he's already got all the word tankers out there.
That's not how the only option. He also will do. He will commit so much civil unrest with ICE that he'll be like, well, dang, now we just we have to take full control. This is what all good authoritarians do. This is what fucking
But
Netanyahu's
we're
done.
3 years out from that.
Yeah, I know, but Trump is doing it right now, right? So he's getting ready. He's planting the seed. He's conditioning y'all to follow along with his outrageous ideas. That's what it takes.
I mean, but if that's what you think, yeah. And you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you on it. I mean, but he's also 74 years old, and who knows if he's even going to live that long.
He's 80.
80. Oh no, you're right. He's 80, 81 or 82.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming up. I hope you have a good
Nah,
rest
I
of your night. All
appreciate
right?
you. I appreciate you giving me the time to talk to you and debate and all that. So, kudos to you.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yep.
Chat, tap the screen if you enjoy these debates. Give me a follow. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Pickles?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you like about Trump?
Actually, what I want to do is I want to establish an over-under with you, figure out what you think is a good number, okay? How long before they start using the argument, how young really is young, too young to sleep with a woman? Like 14 sounds pretty mature. How long before they start making that argument?
Who?
12 months?
Who?
13 months?
Who?
MAGA.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that combo. I don't like that combo. Oh. I get what he's saying. He's saying how long until MAGA starts justifying his disgusting actions towards minors? We already have Nick Fuentes doing that. He's got a huge amount of followers. He's teaching his base, Nick Fuentes, to think it's funny. The Epstein stuff. Think it's funny. Make Epstein look like 007. That's their spin on this. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
I am. What's your problem with Epstein?
He ran one of the world's largest sex trafficking ring for minors.
And where is he at now?
He's dead.
Oh, okay. So you guys are like, you don't think like this is a little cowardice? Because like when he was outside, none of you guys were talking like this, but you know,
I wasn't.
now all of a sudden the outrage mob wants to get involved.
You think it's crazy to be outraged about child sex trafficking?
I think you guys get outraged over anything for you to build an audience on. Like I think all you care about is building an audience.
Something that I should just let go.
I don't think you truly care, to be honest with you.
You're shitting me, right?
No, I don't think that you really care at all. I think people such as yourself, pencil neck white boys such as yourself, get attached to things because you can't compete in the world amongst your own people.
Okay, that's quite the allegation. I think that's what y'all do as a party. You guys, other trans people, black people, gay people, all this stuff, because you have no common enemy in order to
black
votes.
people? Black people don't like people like you. I'm talking about you as an individual. You're a very weak person.
How so?
That's why you're a liberal.
How so?
Well, I can tell by how you're built physically that you're weak. The fact that you get attached to things that have nothing to do with you makes you weak. The fact that people such as you
Yeah, it's
So you
performative
say
though. It's
I don't have
performative.
empathy, but you're just telling on
It's
yourself.
it's
You think it's
it's
bad to have
performative.
empathy.
It's performative.
Got it.
Why would you turn against? You're a white man, correct?
Yeah.
Why would you turn against? Do you believe in white supremacy?
I think it's bad. No, I don't.
Why would you
believe
turn
in
against
white
your
supremacy.
own? Why would you turn against supporting your own race?
I'm not turning against my own race. I am turning against people, regardless of their race, if they're othering people.
What does that mean, othering?
So basically saying, hey, look at this person's melanin content on their skin. That's a different type of person. You should be loyal to the people with less melanin content, like you just did.
You don't think you should be loyal to your own?
I think that your own is subjective, right? So people who think like me are far more like me than people who look like me.
Okay. I disagree with everything you're saying because, like, so you have a problem with the United States then?
No, the United States is a melting pot. I think most conservatives have a problem with that, and they can't assimilate to a multicultural nation.
So how did the United States go westward and obtain all these states?
By force.
Okay. So like I said, you have a problem with the United States.
I have a problem with the disgusting history of the United States. We can point at it, we can learn from it. I don't think we should champion it at the right time just to justify your wrong, like, harmful ideas.
Okay. So if you don't like the history of something, then you don't like it. Especially if that history is what built it,
I think that you can critically look at the history of your own country and learn from it. I don't think that you should champion all the bad stuff, though.
You're weaponizing it. You're just people such as yourself. You weaponize this stuff.
I think that you just started to weaponize the wrongdoings of the country and the history, and saying you want to do them again.
I benefit from the wrongdoings of the country.
So again, you're
so do you. Do you benefit? Do you benefit from the wrongdoings of the country?
Wrongdoings, then you're.
How is it wrongdoings?
This is a patriotic.
How is it wrong? How is it wrongdoings?
Othering people, displacing them.
What does that mean? Othering. What does that mean? That's a big term. Othering. What does that mean?
Categorizing somebody outside of you. So like, hey, this is us. We all look white. Look at this person who doesn't look white. That's how small your brain is.
No. What I'm telling you is that I benefit from how the United States was built. You benefit from how the United States was built.
And now,
are you pro Constitution?
Way more than MAGA, yeah.
Okay, so then what's wrong with America expanding if you're pro Constitution?
Where is the expansion of America in the Constitution?
I'm talking about America when the Constitution was written. How many states did America have versus right now? So if you're pro Constitution, what's wrong with putting all these other groups of people under that Constitution?
Are you for or against the Monroe Doctrine?
I'm not sure. It depends on the circumstance.
So
it depends on the circumstance.
I am for a peaceful society. I am for people who.
Well, then that's not very American.
Fracture the interworkings of society and fracture the social fabric that we have that hold things together, like an understanding that you might go to the store and hear somebody who doesn't speak your language. If that hurts your feelings, that's on you. That's your little fifis. We're not going to legislate for soft people like you to feel better.
You're the one that says that you want peace.
We're not going to remove people from their homes. We're not going to tear them apart from their families. We're not to make them homeless in some other country they've never been to. That's not our policy.
So you're not pro-American then? You're not pro-America then?
I don't think that would make me
pro-American. Because you said, because when has America ever done that?
Done what?
When has America ever been this place of peace and love, skinny neck white hippies such as yourself? When has that ever been America?
I think always.
What? Really?
Always? Yeah.
Really?
Ever since the skinny-necked white dudes were enslaving people to do all the hard work?
Oh, okay. So America was good then? America was peaceful then?
No.
Oh, okay. So you say this peaceful...
You're saying peaceful America is unpatriotic?
I'm saying that it doesn't exist.
Okay, but you said I'm not American.
I'm saying that...
I want peace.
No, I'm saying that I'm saying that you're weaponizing America's history to build an audience for yourself.
No, I'm just pointing at the fact
And I'm
that
saying that if you
these
can't get
things are
along with your
harmful.
own group of people, you can't get along with anyone else.
No. So
Yes.
I want to draw this for you. I want to draw this. All right. This is America, whatever. All right. This is roughly 20%. This will be MAGA. And we'll say 60% will be progressive. Okay? MAGA doesn't hate this small subsection of people, roughly 4%. And we like them. So you guys have separated yourself from all of us. You guys have isolated, and
Who is
we
us?
are a tent of all of the different types of minorities, all of them.
All
You
minorities
guys,
don't like you, dude.
I don't know what
Black
you're talking
people
about.
like weak white people.
They all vote liberal, right? Black men,
Mm,
90%.
Hispanics like weak white people.
Hispanics do also vote liberal.
No, they don't.
Do you
No,
think
they don't.
they
Do
vote for the people who say
Hispanic?
that
So
they're
you're only talking
poisoning the
about
blood
how
of the
people
country?
vote. Hold on a second. Do you live in a black neighborhood?
I
Like
live in
you're talking about
downtown
how people
Dallas.
vote.
I live in downtown Dallas.
So you live what? Deep Ellum? Where?
Bishop Arts.
Okay. So you're telling me. Oh, so you're a gentrifier.
Yeah, this place is gentrified.
Oh, okay. So you as a white man displaced a bunch of black people and Hispanics by moving to Bishop Arts. That's funny, man.
I didn't buy a house, so I wasn't
That's
part
funny.
of that.
Yeah, that's funny. That you as a white man went to an area that was affordable, which was on the edge of Oak Cliff, which at one point was black. Now it's become Hispanic, and you now live there, causing prices to inflate.
Sure.
But you're not
I
like
didn't
the
do that,
rest
though.
of the white. You're not like the rest of the white people.
Right.
You're the good one.
I'm not the guy on TV saying that they have bad genetics.
You're the good one. I
or
got
that they're
you.
poisoning the blood of the country and enraging the entire population to start hating these people and then carrying out domestic right-wing terrorism and killing them. I'm not that person.
So what's interesting to me is you live in an area now that is basically in a full-fledged race war around you.
Only in the eyes of conservatives.
No. It's not in the eyes of conservatives.
Yes.
Oak Cliff, there are conflicts on the daily between blacks and Hispanics on the southern part of Dallas. You would not know that because you as a white man think that just because people aren't white, they just all get along with each other because they're not white.
No, I think that the ideologies and the politics that y'all have.
Who is y'all?
Right.
Who is y'all?
Like MAGA.
No. I'm telling you about something. I'm not talking about MAGA and voting. I'm talking about reality.
So
I'm talking about reality. I'm talking about an area, right, which is now in a full-fledged racial conflict between black and Hispanics.
So
are you aware of that? Are you aware of that at all?
What would you like?
Or are you too busy at Nick and Sam? Are you too busy at Nick and Sam's in an uptown with the rest of the white people to see what's really going on in the city? Are you one of these white people that don't like their parents and so now you want to just be different? Is that what you are?
I think that
because white people have a history of weaponizing my.
I don't think you actually have anything meaningful to say.
I am telling the truth. You don't know what you're talking about.
I think you're just
you're using people.
I think you're just othering
fight
me.
your battle.
You're attacking my character, and you have nothing
You're
to say
a
about left or right.
You're a gentrifier.
I rent a $900 basement.
You're a gentrifier.
I rent a $900 basement in Dallas. I am not a gentrifier. The person who owns this house is actually not even white. So the right, if you look at redlining, it's a little bit more harmful than me renting an apartment in downtown Dallas. Is that Joel Patrick? I don't think so. The guy just literally is just like, you don't believe in helping minorities. Here's how you passively have done racism while espousing the most racist thing you could think. Your neck is hot. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for that. I need that. Jasmine, oh my God. Don't tell people where you live ever. You're right. Very girthy neck. Thank you guys. Oh. I would have made him turn his camera on. Again, that's attacking character. That's petty, and I just don't like perpetuating petty games. Like, let's talk about policy. Let's talk about what type of thinking is helpful, what type of policy is helpful. But when we start breaking down your ideology and what Trump is doing, I don't blame you for being violent and belligerent and stupid about it, because there's no answer. There's no good defense for what Trump is doing or saying. And quite honestly, we wouldn't have a conservative party in America like this if we didn't have gerrymandering, and if we didn't have all this other shit they use to like keep getting elected despite being very unpopular. They would have had to move left. They would have had to have moved further left by now. And that's what every other country has done besides us, because they've been able to cheat their way into office for so long. I think they think that you're their own because you have the same skin. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very blunt and plain. Gail, thank you for the kick, by the way. Gail, I love you so much. If you want to use your kick later, you're welcome to. You know how to. Thank you so much. W Gail's in the chat, guys. Someone says it's a Dimsa cheat. What's up, American? I don't think you meant to come up. So this whole thing about voter ID is decades and decades old. They all know this. The people who are pushing for voter ID laws know that you already have to have an ID to register. There's no level of voter fraud that would have changed any election in the last 30 years with voter ID. This is basically a voter suppression method, and they're trying to get in your feelings. They have no good information, no data to show you about voter ID and how it saves elections. They're just trying to get you to have an emotional response. Like, look at Mom Donnie doing this and this and that, and you are required 2 forms of ID to work. They don't have anything real to say. They want this so bad because it's, again, voter suppression. It's how they cheat and win elections. Yeah, if fewer women vote, women are just slightly more likely to vote liberal. If fewer women vote, that is a plus for them. If fewer minorities vote, that is a plus for them. If fewer people on the lower end of the economy vote in major cities, that's a plus for them. Oh, chat, I do have a PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App in the bio. If you guys are trying to support me, that's the best way to do it. There are always more of us than them. Liberals have always outnumbered Republicans. Republican ideology requires low IQ, low education, usually religion. And all of these things are fading away. That's why they're cutting Department of Education. That's why they're trying to instill religion in schools. Why did Trump win the popular vote? Same way like authoritarians win popular vote all the time. Lying, fear-mongering tactics, fascism. Winning the popular vote doesn't mean you're good or the right thing or you didn't lie. I can't find a soul that can come up here and defend Trump's positions on anything. So how come that? Hello?
Hey, how are you? I'm friendly. I don't know if you would allow friendlies just for a second up on here, but if I
Sure.
could.
Go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much. My name's Mike. I'm just a regular dude on TikTok. I just want to thank you for, kind of talking to fascism, speaking up on it, talking about ethno supremacy and white nationalism. I appreciate you. I'm not good at going live on my own because I don't know if I'm being throttled, but I do just want to share just a little bit about this guy named Hassan and his sister Nadia. They're both in Gaza right now and they're hungry, and I have a GoFundMe in my page just to help them. I'm trying to just spread awareness. So I just wanted to come up on here. I know that you have like 400 people watching. I'm probably going to go live today for like the rest of the day, but I just wanted to say thank you for all that you're doing. And yeah, that's all. And I just want people to, I know that people are like sycophants of Trump up in here, but for the people who are like normal and stuff, if you guys want to donate to like a family who's truly just hungry right now, that would be awesome.
Yeah, thanks for what you do, man. Thank you.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, well, good luck, and chat. Don't forget to give this guy some love.
Thanks.
All right. Chat. If you're a Trump supporter, you want to debate, hop in the box. And tell me why you like Trump. Like everybody's out here saying, "Oh, popular vote, this and that." Where the fuck are they? Where is everybody? Is the Trump that are they the actual people that pay protesters? Are they actually the ones who pay to fill stadiums to cheer on this bullshit Trump shit? You're just ignoring me, James. I had you up, but James, you sound like you've had a few, a few cups of chocolate milk. Jazz is not real. Jazz is a fucking troll. Jazz is funny, but he's a troll. Where are the 81 million dead voters? You sound crazy, dude. You sound crazy. No evidence, no courts have come out with any of this information. It's just Trump and weird people online espousing things to make you lose faith in our democratic systems so that Trump can take control and be an authoritarian. This is how it works every time. Other influencers getting the same trash. Yeah. I've only heard debates about abortion this week. They've got nothing. Oof. Hello?
Yo.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
No, you know what? Kicking me, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're very quiet. They're very quiet. Nothing but faceless 42 follower accounts that say they like MAGA. It's all good.
Well, look who came up. What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, so like I'm actually trying to have a debate about Trump.
You're still for Trump?
Yeah, I'm voted for Trump. And I'm very proud of it. I think he's done a fantastic job. And the midterms, it's gonna be like we're gonna win big. Pretty much like the same way he won in the election. Like it's just gonna be like amazing. Yeah.
Wow. I'm excited.
Yeah. He's actually for the people. He was at Whataburger today. He was eating burgers. With the Americans. It's just like so great. I mean, when's the last time you saw a president do that? He's guys like for the people. He puts America first. He's like the real deal. Like it's just like I wish he could run again. That way I would 1%. I'd vote for him again. Like in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like it's just this guy's like phenomenal. And I mean, look at the jobs. I mean, look at the amount of jobs that he's created. The
Wait.
gas prices.
He hasn't
Very
created any jobs though.
well. Yeah, actually, he did. He actually he's actually deporting the people who stole the jobs of the Americans, and these Americans are actually getting the jobs that they.
I can't. Guys, I can't do it. MAGA, if you want to know how ridiculous this sounds, that's you. Scott, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And American Advocates, American Advocate, I love you, but come on, dude. I tell you what, chat. Guys, it's 9:30. What's MAGA doing, dude? What are they doing out there? Is RFK doing a live workout video right now? Is that where they're at? He sounded like he had eye boogers. That's a very distinct sound, and I think you're right. Was that Boomhauer? Dang on, mine. They hide in 8v1 echo chambers. Should we do MAGA prayer real quick? It's been a while. I want everyone to bow their heads. And dear Jesus, I just want to thank you for giving me the strength to grab these.
At Aircon, I need 2024 super chatted $5. How can I call? I just found out you do these outside of PUBG.
Thank you. Hold on, wait for my prayer. Jesus, thank you for tricking that MAGA into sending me $5 on YouTube. And dear Jesus, thank you for ICE and their ability to commit murder without oversight. And it's just all for your plan, Jesus, to remove all of these brown people out of the country. And I also I want to thank you for coming deep inside of me, Jesus. I just know you came right deep inside of me so many times, and I felt it, and it's given me the strength to beat off my enemies. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Amen. Can I get a raw man, brother? If you've ever microwaved your chicken, join the request. And please, don't forget to tithe to your Lord and Savior's PayPal. The more you tithe, the more your prayer works. It's proven. Ramen. Ooh, I like that. All right, we'll turn on the phone number, guys. If you want to call in and debate, the phone number is up. And it will turn on in now. Check Cash App. Infectious. Whoa! Kick at the time of your choosing. $50. Infectious! Thank you so much, guys. Guys, the phone number is on if you want to call and debate. Go ahead and call. Yellow, is this a Trump supporter?
No, I actually don't vote yet, but I'm going to be able to vote sometime next election.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just a permanent resident right now. I was just applying for my citizenship, so
Love that for you.
But oh yeah, thank you. But I do want to know about how do you think Trump sucks though?
I think that, first of all, his immigration policy is horrid. And also, he's, if he's good at anything, it's basically just dividing the country. If you just watch his State of the Union, he made it a point to shame and other the Democrats and point things out and be divisive. And instead of bringing people together, I think that's what he wants. He also is just very obviously corrupt. He's made billions of dollars as president this last year, and for instance, just legalized Roundup, which is a cancer-causing pesticide, and he wrote an executive order to enable them to be continued to be used. Basically, also making it illegal for the local governments to warn its citizens about it.
But would you agree though that American citizens should be first before illegal migrants, or
I think it's just a talking point. I don't think anybody in Congress or anybody in the Senate wants to put illegal immigrants first. I think this is just a highly politicized thing to get people to be emotional and invigorated to vote. If anybody does anything for the American citizens, it would be only the left. We are the ones who do social safety nets. We're the ones who do consumer protections and regulations on companies that would otherwise fuck you over, just like the pesticide company I just listed. We're the ones who are actually trying to spend money here on food stamps and on Social Security and Medicare and all of those things that Trump is attacking.
But I thought Robert Kennedy was trying to get rid of those pesticides. They're currently working on it, as far as the podcast goes that I just watched a few days ago.
Yeah, I think that RFK is just an opportunist. He is a joke. He's fired everybody who had a meaningful degree or anything to do with actual science in his administration. They're pretty much at a standstill with most things, including the child vaccine schedule and a lot of other things. He's just got a lot of fancy talking points. But if you want to think about how he's going to enable any sort of regulation on our foods, well, Trump's policy that he put down is that for every regulation we need to add, we need to remove 10. Is that going to eventually lead to a healthier America?
Yeah, I do agree with having the pesticides, all chemicals out of our food, the unhealthy
That's not what I
chemicals.
asked. That's one, so we'd have to remove 10 restrictions. Does that sound right?
Restrictions of what? Sorry, I wasn't fully focused on.
Regulations. For every regulation we add, we need to remove 10 per Trump.
Well, it depends. If it's actually helping to the greater cause, yeah, sure.
Okay, but
But
so
if
you're
it's not,
siding with
I would
corporations.
agree on not
You're
doing that.
siding with them 10-1. So I bet you can't even think of a regulation that you would like to get rid of, could you?
No, like I said, I am just new here. I just got into this country. I'm a permanent resident, which went through and I want to know, like, I'm not debating about like these things. I just want to know, like, why does Trump suck,
Well,
right?
that's one example. Trump's also responsible for a quarter of this country's debt. His rhetoric is dangerous. It's caused right-wing domestic terrorism to skyrocket to unknown levels. He's espousing doubt in our democratic elections. He wants to take control of them. He's largely corrupt and tied to Epstein more than anybody. Pam Bondi is not pursuing any people in the Epstein files at all. Like, he's like
Yeah, I
easily,
do agree
blatantly
with
the
that.
most
Like,
corrupt
Pam Bondi
politician.
just blew that freaking hearing. Like, I don't even know why they haven't.
Okay, well, that's why she's there. That's why Trump wants her there, dude. You don't think that Pam Bondi's alone on this, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I'm pretty sure, not I'm pretty sure, like, we don't have evidence yet, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people behind this, especially like richer people.
Yeah, but I would want those people and anyone like Pam Bondi. Trump historically paid Pam Bondi 20 grand to drop charges against him in fraud charges a long time ago when she was AG of Florida. He knew she played ball. That's why she's in his administration, not because she's this great AG. Same thing
Yeah.
with Matt Gaetz. The child fucking Matt Gaetz, his best friend caught paying minors for sex. He openly on his Venmo transactions were public. We could see him paying 17-year-olds. Trump wanted to make him AG. Why do you think he wanted him as AG? Not because he's this stand-up guy that is a Boy Scout. No, because he's corrupt. Just like everybody else Trump has hired. Pete Hegseth, Musk, everybody else he's in cahoots with that wrote Project 2025. Trump promises he has nothing to do with it, but he's enacted 40% of it. How could you ever move forward with what Trump tells you he's going to do, thinking he's going to do it when he lied so much about everything he was going to do? He said he had no idea what Project 2025 was. He said he was going to end all these wars in one day. He said he was going to lower grocery prices. Now, lowering grocery prices is a scam. Affordability is a Democrat hoax, even though the words are still on his website under his policy. Make more America affordable again. Like, he is just a divisive character, making himself rich as president, controlling the world's trade from his desk without Congress, trying to lock himself into presidency and avoid any sort of real election from happening to get him ousted and all of his friends been put in prison. So that's why he wants to take control of them.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, if I'm gonna be able to vote, like, in the next sorry, bear my English. I didn't grow up here. But in the next federal election, I would probably choose wiser. I'm more on the side to where we follow the Constitution. That's basically my stand on this.
Which side is showing
But
to be
anyway,
more for the Constitution?
well, right now, everything my feed, I want to like broaden my feed on my social media, but everything that's pumping right now is leaning on the right side. The Republican side, conservative side, if you may call it.
That's probably just an algorithm thing. So,
Well, the thing, the algorithm is, following my opinions because I came from a more on a conservative like country. So, the thinking of, my feeds is usually tend to go that route. But, if it can be proven that these kind of things that is happening in America right now is not going in a better way, or the right way, I wouldn't support that.
Yeah. So one thing.
But anyway, I just heard about the voters ID though. Like you were saying about What was what was you saying about the voter's ID earlier? I
So
kind of forgot.
in every single state, you already have to have an ID to register to vote. And there's also almost no sign of voter fraud considering voter ID. Literally none. And we're
Well,
talking about like
wouldn't
25 in the last year. 25
yeah,
counts.
I know voting is a constitutional right, right?
Yeah. So if you're a constitutionalist
And
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 you don't want a poll tax,
and
that's the
uh-huh.
side you would be on.
Well, wouldn't having a voter ID suppress cheating though?
No, there's no evidence of cheating. So we don't have any evidence of that. We do have 100% certainty that is voter suppression. So there will be millions of votes that will not be able to be cast because of these laws. It will not. So, like, we're talking about 25 votes that might be prevented for cheating, and then millions who won't be able to vote rightfully because of this new thing. And that's how conservatives win. When more people
Well,
vote, they lose.
how though? Like, how did they get suppressed? Like, give me an example, like a couple.
Yeah. So think about people who can't take off work a week to go to the DMV. Think about people, whether you want to call them negligent or just a bad voter, they shouldn't vote anyway or something. What you're doing is playing a numbers game. So all of these people are going to wake up one day, they're going to go to vote, and they go, "Oh fuck, my ID is invalid because it's expired or something, or it doesn't match
Well,
my last name, or my last name doesn't match my birth certificate now." So you're sending these
well,
people
does
on an
everyone?
extra scavenger hunt.
Well, everyone knows the date though. Like, we have a countdown right now. Like, it's gonna be in the next 3-4 years, right? November.
Yes.
They can like maybe a year before they can get that sorted if they really want to make a change on the country.
That's you prescribing something we can't legislate. So what you can legislate is voter ID, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to get everybody who might have some sort of mix-up. Close your eyes. Think 350 million people on the day of voting. How many of them are not going to vote because of this new law? That's what they want. 100%.
Okay.
There's no data that
Oh,
shows
yeah.
this will fix any elections.
I'm reading chat right now. Sorry, chat. I'm not Republican. I just tend to lean on conservative side though, since I
Why
came from
do you
that
lean
behind the
conservative?
country.
Conservatives in our country have no history of helping the economy, have no history of being on the correct side of history. They were responsible for slavery, Jim Crow.
Well, I can
voting
give you
rights.
I can give you an example right now.
Sure.
So on that big beautiful plan bill, sorry. It did benefited me. Like, I got a really good tax refund because of that.
All right.
Before I wasn't getting
still,
anything.
That doesn't really. So I don't know. That's very selfish and short-sighted. So if the economy is shit, complete
At
shit.
Gorbgloth over 599 super chatted $50. Know this. If liberals want anything in the future, you need the other side to do anything. Blue states have highest taxes. But what do I know? I am just an ignorant joke. Just like the rest of you. You think you are right? You never have been.
Thank you for the $50. So I would say if you just look at the economic policy, if you look at the track record on either side, I don't even have to coach you how to do this. Just look at it as a general curious person. How do Democrats and Republicans fare with the economy? And whether or not you got $1,200 back from the government is almost irrelevant. If they're going to make your $1,200 go less further and the rest of the economy dwindle, your $1,200 is meaningless.
Okay. Well, in my area, is actually doing good right now. I mean, like groceries on my part.
You have to look at the whole
Like, I'm just asking because here's my thing. Like I said earlier, I haven't lived in America for that long, so please cope with me with that. But I do some research, but I can just I can just relate on my local community, because I haven't like lived in different places, so I can't really tell. I can't really stand on other communities' opinion about things. and I haven't been there. You know.
This is I think it's a cop out to rely on your own personal like experience. Like just like every rich white straight man can probably just not worry at all about elections and politics in general because it really just doesn't affect them that much, besides saving a few $1,000s when it comes to taxes every year. But when you vote the other way, and you're not rich and you're not straight and you're not white, there's huge drastic things that happen, such as being ejected from the fucking country without trial.
Well, I'm not white. I'm in this country.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're excited to show ICE your ID for the first time and swear that you're a citizen. I don't know if you're excited for
Oh,
that part.
like even now I can really want it. If they ask me for my green card, I have my green card on me all the time.
Nice. I don't like living in a police state, so not my gig.
Well, my thing is with this one, I came to this country. I asked the country to accept me, you know, so I have to respect the rules, respect the Constitution, the law.
Sure.
And you know, if they ask for me for that, I wouldn't mind.
The Constitution
But
says
what
that you
happened to
shouldn't have to do
Minnesota
that.
is totally unnecessary.
What the Constitution says that you shouldn't have to show your ID. Actually, the Constitution specifically says that, and Trump has got the Supreme Court to say that they can do it based on race, based on your accent.
Based on my accent.
That is unconstitutional.
Or like,
that is horrible treading on your rights, man.
well, if that's the case, why would we show a firearm license? And that's also constitutional.
Again, you shouldn't have to. I live in Texas where we have constitutional carry. We don't. I can go buy one from Walmart without an ID right now.
Yeah, but you have to show everything, like all your
No,
documents
I can buy a
to
gun.
get that.
I can buy a fucking AR-15 right now from my dad. No ID, nothing. With he could give it to me.
Well, does he have a license?
No.
Well, that's not right.
No, it is right. In Texas, it's completely legal.
Okay, let me search, guys. I don't have any knowledge of guns, but I do know the Second Amendment. Can you buy a gun without a license in Texas? Oh yeah, you're right. Keep ruining. Oh yeah, that changed in 2021. That's nice to know.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're a real constitutionalist, you believe the same thing about voting, right?
I would, but if they enforce it, I have to follow. But is it to me having a voter's ID is not really a big thing. If they require it, sure. Well, having a passport is a good having a passport is a good identification. A driver's license, everyone has that.
That's a luxury. Does everybody have time to take a week off to do all of these things? What do like Trump just cut people's SNAP and WIC and all of these things, dwindled it down to nothing. I just heard a story of a lady who was near blind, or actually, this is another topic, but yeah, who was cut down from, I think it was like $80 to like $12, and now she's just fucked. She's just completely fucked, and he's done that to thousands of people in this country. Trump has fucked over the U.S. citizens and the migrants. He's not putting anyone first. So
yeah, we'll have to.
that.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm at work. I need to take. Sorry. Nice talking to you. I would like to talk to you next time.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Haley, thank you for the $5 and says that prayer sounded exactly like Mike Johnson. How did you know what he says for grace every night? We're a hive mind. He lifted people off of food stamps. Dude, when he said that, what? Weird thing to brag at a State of the Union. Yeah, provide free voter ID. Make it to where our DMVs run a little more efficiently than the return line at fucking Walmart. The return line at Walmart's actually fucking empty all the time now near me. I think they figured it out better than DMV. Does Pickle still have a headache from State of the Union? Dude, his State of the Union was so problematic and horrible. The right is very conditioned and doesn't see how horrible it is, I guess. But, like, we've come a long stretch from Obama. Like, having any sort of class, being an actual leader for both parties, trying to pull the country together. Trump is constantly putting pressure on the two parties to be divided. And to espouse lies, to scare people about voting. And he basically had nothing to say about the actual huge things going on, like Iran, Cuba, Greenland, NATO, Mexico. Can you tell us about any of that stuff? Venezuela? No. He just wanted to get up there and brag and jerk himself off about weird, vague things. Yeah, it was just a campaign speech. Patriotism's hard for you guys. I think patriotism's hard for y'all. Like, patriotism would include loving everybody, loving the Constitution. Trump is against the Constitution in most cases. When I bring it up, you guys run to justifying how it's okay to be against the parts of the Constitution he's against. Is my phone back on? Let's turn it back on. Phone line's back on, y'all. Stephen Miller, yeah, I know. Every time you hear a tacky, like like, I don't know, like egocentric speech from Trump that has name calling, it's usually Stephen Miller. It was a hate speech, yeah. Most of Trump's speeches are hate speech. I am drinking this. And it's got L-theanine and lion's mane, ashwagandha, and caffeine from green tea. It's delicious. The standing ovations were gross, dude. They were fucking glazing him. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I am.
Cool. What do you like about Trump?
I mean, probably been, I would say maybe out of the last couple of years, he's probably one of the only presidents that kind of is looking out for the people, I would probably say.
How do you say that?
How do I say that? I just said it using my words.
Okay,
That would be how.
why do you say that?
There we go. I say this because if we look at the last 20, 30 years objectively, right? Let's look into Biden time, right? We had crazy inflation when Biden was in office. We saw, yeah, COVID was also a thing, but we also had inflation too.
Yeah.
COVID does not also equal inflation. You know why COVID does not equal inflation?
How not?
End of Trump's term, when COVID did start, inflation was at a all-time lowest it's ever been at in recorded history in America.
Inflation lags. What do you think caused
Inflation lags.
Yeah, what do you think caused inflation?
When you create policies that created the inflation that it did, that's what caused the inflation.
What about a policy is inflationary? What
the
about
Inflation Reduction Act, which went ahead and provided tax breaks for a plethora of different things,
That
which
doesn't cause
contributed to
inflation.
okay, it does. You know why it does? When the government is giving free money away, it has to come from somewhere. Where does the money come from?
The Inflation Reduction Act paid for itself, so that couldn't be inflationary.
How
because
did it
was
pay
net-
for itself? What was the amount of debt caused by the Inflation Reduction Act? Do you know?
None. It was like positive 200 billion.
How?
Because of the loophole you just talked about. He put a 15% minimum tax on corporations. 400.
Where does this money come from, my
From
boy?
corporations that have to pay their minimum tax now.
Dude, the Federal Reserve, as you know, right? Because you're not a dummy. I know you're not stupid. The Federal Reserve goes ahead and gives the government money, right? It go ahead and gives it an IOU when it comes down to how we receive money, right? So then that becomes a debt, as you know, right? So if it's coming in as a debt, when inflation kicks in, the debt gets worse.
But that wasn't
that's
a debt.
the whole point.
So that was a net positive. It wasn't a debt. Inflation Reduction Act was not a
How?
debt.
We didn't have the money then because we were already in debt. So then you're just creating more
Trump
debt.
is a quarter of this country's debt historically is Trump. 12 trillion.
How?
12.
How?
Because Trump,
we were
in
in
his
debt
first
before
term,
Trump.
Trump's
So it
first
wouldn't be a
term-
quarter.
It would be a quarter. So
It
first,
wouldn't be a
Trump's
quarter
first
if we were what, like I think 20 trillion in debt before him?
Super chatted
We were in like
$5.
20 trillion debt
Your
before him.
volume
How was
seems
a quarter?
really low.
Okay,
him at that
I'm going to
point?
help you out because if you just look at it, it shows it. So Trump spent 8.3 trillion during his first term, and in his second term, he's already spent like 5 trillion with his big beautiful bill. So yeah, and Biden his
We
whole
spent
term,
5 trillion with the big beautiful bill.
Biden's entire term, he spent 4 trillion.
Hold on. Rewind. Let's
Trump
go back.
spent
Let's go back.
twice
Let's go
that.
back. Hold on. Let's go back. How much was spent from the big beautiful bill that you just said?
I'm going to say 5 trillion. It's projected 5 trillion to 7.
Projected, but that's not spent.
Dog,
That's
yes,
not the
it
same thing.
is.
Hold on. That's not the same thing.
Yes,
A projection is not. It's not the same thing. Come on, be honest. I'm being nice with you, and I'm being honest here. That's not the same thing. We both know that's not the same thing. A projection.
It's created a deficit. So if you think that time is still going to happen,
It's a no. That's not the same thing. It's hold on. Let's rewind. Let's have correct terms. That's a projected deficit in terms of what may happen
between 5 and 7.
The same. And I'm being disingenuous right now because the Inflation Reduction Act, right? We've had it for what 5-6 years at this point. The numbers of debt we got for that is still projected. Still,
no,
we haven't
were
had
positive. We've been positive.
The full fallout for it.
No, we are fully positive on that. You're literally lying. You don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, we were not positive for it at all
we are.
because we were already in debt.
Dude,
it created more debt.
Biden reduced the deficit with that bill, dude. Recurringly,
How?
we will be collecting more than we have been.
I have a question for you. What was the main cause of why our inflation went from, what was it, 0.2%? 0.2%, not 2.2%, to like almost 8% in a matter of like 4 or 5 months? What were the main causes for that?
It's called supply chain shortages. So if you look at a map, I have it pulled up right now. There's a map of all of the countries that were experiencing inflation 2024. And we were at 3% because Biden reduced it from 9 to 3, right? So if Biden's
you can't reduce inflation that way. Only the
rate.
Federal Reserve has the power to do that. You know that, right?
Listen, Biden did not create.
Hold on, but hold on. Before we continue, do you know the Federal Reserve is the only institution that can do that, and the government has no control over the Federal Reserve? You know that, right?
Yes. It's one of the main mechanisms, but there's also more types of inflation. So
no, it's not the main. It is the mechanism. They only control that. You know that, right? That's why Trump As much of an asshole as he is, because I'm going to give you some defense right now. I got you. I'm going to give you a layup. He's an asshole wanting to get rid of the president over the Federal Reserve so he can take control to do what he wants, right? He doesn't want to basically push down inflation because the market is still somewhat volatile. It's bad for Trump to do that. I'm giving you a layup right now. So Biden basically doing what he did.
Trump being an authoritarian is also bad.
Any president in his position would be doing the same thing. So
No,
my point
nobody's
is
done it
that
besides Trump ever.
no, are you sure? Because we can probably both look up
No, you
articles of
can't.
Biden probably
I've
trying
already
to
done
get
this.
Jerome Powell to do the same things.
No, you can't find one.
You sure?
Yes. Yeah, Trump did it on
You
Twitter.
sure?
Trump did it on Truth Social. Trump's done it with lawfare. Trump is trying to do anything he can. He's trying to get the public to hate him. Yeah. He's being a complete
Why
turd.
would he try to get the public to hate him when the
Because he wants to win midterms. He wants to reduce rates for everybody to scream and joy. He was trying to get Jerome Powell to reduce rates before COVID, which would have made it even
so wouldn't
worse.
reducing rates be a good thing for the middle class?
No, because it could cause inflation to spin out of control.
How does that happen?
Dog, you're fucking shitting me.
I'm asking you a question. How does it happen, bro? I've been honest with you the whole time. I've given you layups. I haven't talked shit to you. Just let's have an honest back and forth conversation.
Interest rates are the thing we use against inflation.
Hold on,
right?
don't backtrack, bro. I'm being nice right now. Don't backtrack. How does that happen?
Rates help control inflation. So when you lower inflation rates, what could happen if raising them reduces inflation? What's the opposite of reducing?
You're gonna raise. It's the opposite of reducing. We both know that.
There you
I'm
go.
asking you though, what is the benefit of trying to reduce your APR rates for the general classes? What does that do for them?
So it gives them a false sense of security that the economy is going well. That's what Trump wants to do.
Why would it give okay, what does this false insecurity do then?
It would get him votes.
No, but what does this do for the average consumer? So if I want to go buy a house, right? And the rate of me buying a house, I think right now is around 6.5%, 5%, some shit like that, right? If it goes down to 3% in my market, where average home for me to purchase something is $300K, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that do for me? What would that do?
So you personally might see your house be purchased, and that would be good. That'd be short-sighted. The entire economy would be fucked. The trade of commodities would be.
I'm asking you how. Why would it be fucked, bro?
The trade of commodities would speed up, causing inflation. Everybody would buy a house.
No,
right?
not everyone can afford a house.
Okay,
so for the people who
even more
can,
people, so you're causing the rate at which people are buying huge commodities, houses.
You've got half the battle. You've got half the battle, bro. But think of it this way, right? Because you're half right, and I don't agree with this either. I'm telling you right now, I don't agree with this either. I don't agree with half of it, but the way that he wants to do it is this way. If I give the middle class and lower middle class a way to buy more without putting them more into debt, they have more money to spend on other things, which also boost up the economy for your local and your federal government, which means that everyone is making more. No, that's long-term games.
No.
Everyone's making more money.
The Federal
the
Reserve
only
is
way
only interested in long-term games. The Federal Reserve only cares. They don't care about Trump's politics. They don't care about his midterms. They don't care about trying to make y'all happy for 5 seconds. They're trying to make sure that our currency withstands the test of time.
Yes, that's the whole point. But the point of that I'm saying is what Trump is trying to do is to create more wealth for everyone at the same time. The long-term game is this, right? Because when you buy a house, you know how the housing market works, right? When you have a mortgage, your mortgage doesn't.
Good. I get that.
Right, but your mortgage doesn't stay with the same bank. It gets moved around through different corporations that owns it. So debt gets moved around, right? Meaning that multiple different companies make money off of you, meaning that the economy gets better, right?
No.
So that's his whole point of this, right?
No,
so you can't. There's always negatives and it's not short-sighted.
The big picture is bad. So you're looking at everybody who would be cheering for this.
So what is the late game? What is the late game thing that would be bad? What is the late game thing that would be bad by what you think?
Inflation.
But inflation's lowering right now, so it can't just be inflation. So what else would be a key cause?
When you change interest rates, that would change the trajectory of inflation, bro.
So you're saying when interest rates are going to go down, inflation's going to shoot right back up?
Yeah, if it's
So
not
why
a
didn't
good
we
time.
see this in the first year that Biden was in office when interest rates were already low and inflation shot up and the interest rate shot
Because
all the way up
Wrinkle
too? Both of them shot up
73
at the same
super
time.
chatted $5. On your own microphone, leaving calls I cannot hear.
Hello?
It's my microphone. People are saying my microphone is unable to be heard.
I can move. I'm in my car driving if you need me to move if I have a
It's
bad
not,
signal if it's my
it's
end, bro.
not you. It's not you.
This is fun. I like this, talking to people about stuff like this. I don't get to do this often. So at least you're not like being super disingenuous. I'll listen to people and they're being a dick. You're not a dick. That's a good thing. Those are good traits to have, having
So
good dialogue back and forth.
we're looking. If you look at all of the markers that the people at the Federal Reserve track, one of them is the housing market. One of them is jobs. One of them is CPI. They look at all of these things. They look long term, and then they look at the volatility of it. And Trump's tariffs have created so much instability in the market that reducing interest rates could cause huge volatile reactions, huge economic feedback. That's why I know that he wants a
you're
few people to be
introducing.
immediately happy. But
Well, yeah,
that's
when you
bad.
introduce tariffs into a market that hasn't had tariffs really introduced in what, like 100 years, we could say at this point, just kind of give or take or whatever like that. Yeah, you're going to introduce new variables that's going to basically make the market seem very volatile. But where I live in my state, tariffs don't really seem to affect what I do for my day-to-day life that much. And mind you,
You're just being short-sighted. You're just being short-sighted. You're trade
That's
as
not
a
being
whole.
short-sighted.
It is
Not being short-sighted.
Trump's tariffs
I'm
have
giving you
created
anecdotal
huge...
experience.
Yeah, I know that's an
I'm
excuse.
giving you anecdotal experience.
The data says otherwise. You not being able to feel it.
The data from where though? Where is this data being pulled?
From all over. Trump's
Where's
data.
all over, my friend?
The Department of Labor's well, they're actually reducing how much they're releasing, but we can see CPI data. We can see all of this stuff. We can see how much people are importing and exporting.
Right. So they're averaging based on the entire market that we have nationally, right? So then I know personally, because I live on the East Coast, right, and I go up and down the East Coast doing various different things. I generally know the markets fairly well for the East Coast, and I can tell you exactly where things are expensive and less expensive at. And for the most part, things are generally cheaper when it comes down to most goods.
Dude, you're not really basing this off of actual statistics. If you want to talk about CPI, that's what we need to talk about. You can't just say, "Oh, well, I've moseyed around and I don't feel any difference." When we were experiencing fantastic drops in inflation, all this stuff, Trump went around with a microphone yelling, "Look how expensive everything is. Look at groceries. Look at all this stuff." He got people all riled up, even though everything was actually moderately lukewarm. Everything was great. So this is all about rhetoric, and this is all about you and your personal feelings. But we can look at the nation. We can look at what's good for our economy as a whole, not just how you got away with nothing. What do you mean when?
When? Because you don't. Hold on. Just calm down a little bit. Don't go on a tirade. I'm saying when are you? What is the time frame that you're talking about?
Inflation dropped from, I believe it was November or October 2022, all the way to 3% the last year, the entire last year that Biden was in.
But the cost of goods were still extremely high for various different things.
For supply chain shortages.
Even if we're just looking.
Yes.
Not necessarily, because even when we caught up in terms of getting supply back in, because it didn't take long. It was really just like a year and a half, 2 years, right? It didn't take long for things to catch back up.
That's not true.
Okay.
I have a chart from 2024. Every single country on Earth, and I'm showing it right now on my screen. Every single country on Earth had 15% plus inflation, 15, 25, 30%, bro. All of the orange countries. When it's expensive for them, doesn't that make things we buy from them more expensive? When we make a car, like we make a GM vehicle, and the parts come from Mexico, Canada, Germany, and Eastern Europe, does that make a GM more expensive? Yes. And when we buy oranges,
hold on, let's rewind a little bit. When you have a contract with a company, right, depending on what your contract states that you have, you cannot increase the cost of goods for that contract based on what you have in place, right? It depends on the contract that you have. For some things we can say yes. For other things, no. It does depend.
Okay, generally though, out of all the deals on Earth, when people are dead and they can't operate a factory at the right efficiency that are the same that they used to, they have to change their pricing. And when they've operated at a loss for 9 months during COVID, they have to change their pricing. All of these things happen
Based on keep going.
people dying,
No, keep
not
going.
being
You're good.
open, all over the world.
No, that's
all
not what
over
I'm
the
saying
world.
based on. I was gonna say something else. What were you gonna say before I said based on?
I don't know. But that's what caused inflation. If you look up what caused inflation in COVID, it was supply chain shortages. It wasn't Biden spending
aware.
$2.2 trillion because it's nothing. It's chump change compared to Republicans who spend way more every time they're in office. They reduce or they increase the deficit, which is the incurring rate at which we accrue debt. They increase that. Democrats always reduce the rate at which we accrue debt. We reduce the deficit. Y'all are so largely
So
irresponsible.
hold on, because I'm gonna
and
go on a
horrible
tangent real
with
quick.
the
'Cause
economics.
It's hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. I'm gonna go on a tangent a little bit because that's a bad call to make, right? Why is it that the governor of Virginia, who just got newly elected, is trying to increase taxes and create brand new taxes in a state where they're in a like one of the craziest surpluses I've ever heard of before? Why is she doing that when they don't need to do that?
I don't know. Why is Trump cutting taxes when we've been in more
Hold
debt
on,
ever?
no, bro, don't do that to me. We having a good conversation. Just why would someone who just was elected and who is Democrat, by the way, they had previously a Republican that was in office. Why is she changing and increasing taxes when they're
I'd
in
have
a
to look it up.
major surplus?
Why not? I don't know.
But why? This will just make it so the middle class and the poor people are basically spending more money. So things are more expensive for them with her trying to change these taxes. So
You
why
said what
do that?
state?
In Virginia.
The bill increases standard deduction 10,000. I think she's increasing tax deductions actually.
No. Keep looking. Keep looking. Don't cherry pick. Don't do that.
Virginia income tax proposals. This is February 4th. It would create 2 new individual income tax rates on high earners, 10 8% with top margin rate. So just rich people.
She's also adding random taxes for Uber and a bunch of other little stuff too, like Instacart and stuff like that, right? But
Those are huge
we know how
companies.
economics work.
Yeah.
So we know how economics work, right? So we know that when we tax our rich people typically tend to pay more into the system that we have, right? So we know that can typically be a slippery slope, right?
Listen, I literally have never heard of a conservative ever raising taxes, and I think that they've put so much dogma on it and so much taboo on raising taxes. But it just proves my point. You guys will never balance the budget ever.
Hold on, dude. I know you have an audience, but just rewind a little bit. We know that's a slippery slope, increasing taxes, right? Because we know most of the rich who are paying for most of the taxes, right?
Again, how is it a slippery slope?
So New York is a good example of this right now, right? Because we just recently learned that a lot of the billionaires who used to live in New York do not live in New York anymore, meaning that they have lost a good chunk of their people who are paying into the system. They're gone. They don't have that money anymore.
They use those projections when they do this. Yeah. So when they increase taxes, they use projections on who might leave, how much they may still capture.
So
but
those
no
people
matter
are
what,
gone is what I'm saying. They're losing those people.
That's
so
okay.
Then what are you left? No, it's not okay. So what are you left at that point to do?
So New York is the second most expensive city to live in the world. So if you move there in the first place, and you're not in the lower class,
that doesn't answer my question. I'm asking, what are you left to do
but
at that point?
If a 3% increase on your taxes, living in the most expensive place in the world already makes you move, you're just a political hack. You're not American. You're not a patriot. You're not anything.
Okay, but hold on, bro. What does that do at that point? If the upper class, the filthy rich people are leaving, right? What does that do to the rest of the state? Is my question to you.
I don't know. A lot of things, but you'd have to quantify.
Squeezed.
You'd have to quantify.
The little people get squeezed.
You're gonna have to quantify
the middle class.
You're gonna have
they're
to
already
quantify that.
fucked.
No. We have nothing but y'all espousing these ideas to put us into unimaginable amounts of debt. That's what this is. This is fear mongering,
So do you
and this is
remember?
why y'all put us into debt so much.
So do you? Let me phrase this a different way because you seem to have a good head on your shoulders. So do you remember back? What is this? In the Great Depression, right? Where the only way we really got bailed out of the Great Depression was because of the simple fact of the rich people who basically controlled everything maliciously back then used their money to bail us out, because that's how we got out of the Great Depression. This is no different. So when you have your rich people who are basically overwhelmingly paying to the system, you're left with the poor people who can't really pay into the system enough in order to sustain
Can you tell
the
me?
programs you have.
Can you
in
tell me
place.
one red state that balances their budget well?
Florida does a pretty good job. Virginia was one of them. Virginia did a pretty good job. They were in what, $1 billion surplus. Now they're going blue and they're increasing taxes. That's not good.
So
Those are two good
Virginia
examples. Everyone's
also
moving.
takes.
Texas is a great example.
They- so-
Actually, everyone's moving to Texas right now.
And it's
between
gonna turn blue.
businesses, between your normal people.
Yeah, it's going to turn blue.
Yeah.
So,
If that happens, then people will leave.
Okay,
And then
we don't
there'll
have
be
any.
another state.
This is like.
But hold on, I
no,
answered your
stop,
question
stop,
though with
stop,
three
stop,
different
stop,
states,
stop.
bro.
I know.
And you're just moving the goalposts. Come on, don't do that.
The thing is, Democrats, Virginia, by the way, is not in exactly a surplus. They receive far more from the federal government than they give. So they are takers. Same thing with most Republican states. Almost all of them. They do nothing but cut taxes and scare people like you into believing that tax cuts are the only answer. That's why they're all in debt, and Democrat states have to pay for all of them. If you look at my screen, all of the green states in this country, aka mostly blue states, have to pay and foot 70% of this country's bills because we are not
all
fucking.
those states
We are not
in debt too, right?
Yeah,
So,
I know.
like,
Because if we
it's-
didn't have to foot all of your bills, we wouldn't be in debt.
No,
Yes.
that's not how that works, my
That
friend.
is how that works, literally.
So I'll actually give you a layup here. The population of most blue states are far higher than the red states, right? They have more
Nobody
people,
wants to live in a
right?
red state with no social safety nets, with no
I
programs.
don't know. Everyone's
nothing.
moving to Florida and Texas, so I guess that's not really true right now.
They're moving
And
to
North
blue
Carolina.
cities, right?
No.
Yeah, they are.
No, not just blue cities.
And
Sure.
this is also just a talking
we're-
point. If you look at the
we're
people
moving the
actually,
goalposts. We're moving
stop,
the goalposts.
stop.
Let's
you
bring
have
it back. Let's
you
bring
have
it
a
back.
bunch of
Let's move it back.
politicians. You have a bunch of politicians telling you everyone's leaving blue states. They don't give you a number. They don't tell you anything because it's a lie. 99% of everybody in California stays put. 1% leaves.
99%.
Yes, less
That's
than
a very
1%.
big talking point, my friend.
Less than 1% of people leave California, meaning 99% are happy, right?
No, they're not. They just did a whole statistic about happiness in California. It's not at all near high. Actually, I think it's, if not, just as bad as New York.
Again, you're just shaming the two states that make all the money for this country, and you don't have Republicans have no policy to change anything in a good way. Republicans don't have policy about homelessness. They don't have policy about balancing budgets. They don't have policy about anti-corruption. They don't have any policy about this. These are just talking points.
We haven't even gotten into any talking points. You're just kind of saying words.
No, I'm telling you the things that conservatives do is they espouse
like what?
anti-taxing.
You haven't said anything that they do.
They want
You're
to
just
lower.
kind of talking.
Yes, they want to lower taxes for everybody all the time, and put us in a debt. That's all they do.
So isn't
period.
that a good? So hold on. How does lowering taxes put you in debt?
Because you're Do you ever go to work and tell your boss to stop paying you so much?
Where do taxes go to? Because that's going to be a bad analogy. I don't want to play with that one. If you give me a better analogy, I'll play with you. But
Trump
that's a bad
told
one.
all of the
Where do
richest people
taxes
in
go
this
to?
country to stop paying us so much. They said, "Hey guys, stop paying us so much money," and it made our debt explode.
Everyone has to pay some kind of taxes, my friend. That's not how that works.
But he changed that. He changed the nature in which they pay those taxes. So they are
Yeah,
paying far
they
less.
were lowered for
and now
all
we're in so
classes.
much debt. We are in so much fucking debt. Yes, he had to give everyone a tax break to get all of their votes. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So how does a country like the UAE and Dubai, more specifically, that has basically non-existent taxes, survive when they, virtually speaking, have no taxes, right? How do they survive? And they are super wealthy rich.
Because they're super wealthy rich, and it's actually illegal to be in
How
debt.
do they survive without
It's
taxes? And they
illegal
have
to be in
similar
debt.
programs as we do. It's illegal to be in debt.
Yes.
So the incentive to live over there is that it's illegal to be in debt, but then there's no taxes, so that you don't have to worry. But that you do know how weird
There are
that
plenty
sounds?
of taxes, dude.
There's for income tax in the UAE. There's really non-existent.
Why
right?
would they
You can
tax
go
the
over-
rich people at the point of income? Why would anyone ever do that? Rich people don't have income.
You know, we didn't used to have taxes here, right?
I know.
we didn't have
I've heard
these
this
problems.
a million times, but we're in a developed world now. We have a developed economy.
We don't need the level of taxes that we have in order to actually have a progressive way of living. My point is that if other countries don't have these taxes and they also have a progressive way of living, why do we have high taxes?
They have huge corporate taxes.
So then why does the middle, lower class need income tax on them if they barely contribute to
Because
the
you guys
system in the
refuse
first
to
place?
tax the rich people. I don't know, man.
The rich people seem to be getting taxed. They pay, what, 50 to 60%, depending on what state you live in, right? So
Dog,
they're
I'm
getting
talking
taxed.
about the deficit. You know what the deficit is, right?
But,
the
bro,
deficit.
you're moving the goalpost again.
I'm not
You're
moving the
goalpost
goalpost. The deficit.
You just did it.
If you want nice things, we have to pay for them, right? We
No,
have to.
not
We have
all
to
the time.
balance a budget.
How do you balance a budget?
By not telling rich people to stop paying taxes to get votes.
But the rich people are paying taxes, though. They haven't stopped. They've just moved states, and they still pay the federal taxes they're supposed to pay. It hasn't changed.
They don't.
They're not moving out the country.
He reduced. So when he passes a bill that reduces the income in which we get by $5 trillion, that's the number we're talking about. That's what
Okay,
it
so
does,
let's go back
man.
to economics, right? Because I guess we don't know economics as well as we do. If I make, right, and quote unquote, I make what to some people may think my net worth is $10 million, right? That doesn't mean I make $10 million. I can make it so I only on paper make $100,000 a year and tie up my money in assets that equivalent to $10 million.
Exactly.
Meaning
They don't
that
They don't
I'm
pay
only taxed
taxes.
to a certain. So then, if I change the tax code so that you basically don't have to deal with the taxes the way he did it, people will put more money into the system. So
It's not
rich
true.
people don't mind paying taxes.
What is that called?
Yes.
Put more money into the system. How do we measure that?
We have a year over year.
What is it called?
Polls.
Okay,
It's
you're
the
not going to
fucking,
teach anyone about economics, bub. This is
dude.
called GDP. Okay, and what Trump was
No,
trying to tell people
there's
is
another thing of what I'm talking about and what you're talking
okay.
about.
Well,
too. It's
I'm
not
sure
just
your big
GDP,
brain
it's
can
something
figure it
else.
out. But right now, we'll talk about GDP and the fact that what you're trying to say is if we reduce taxes, more money will move more freely and GDP will raise. Well, we have all sorts of analysis from colleges like Brookings, like Penn Wharton, like the Congressional Budget Office, and they say that Trump's tax breaks resulted in a 0.4% increase in GDP over the 10 years, which is dog shit. It's fucking dog shit. They buy they fucking circle jerk themselves with stock buybacks. They lay people off to maximize profits. None of this makes sense. He's fooling y'all. For the last 50 years, we could see that trickle down does not work. Bless your fucking heart, dude.
Have you talked to other rich people before to ask how much money they pay into taxes and what they do and things like that? Because I have rich friends, so like I literally am just telling you based on people that I know make multi-million dollars.
Okay,
And
that's
this is
cute.
literally
I
what
know
they
the
say.
game too. I know it.
So then, what is your point in what you're saying?
Okay,
Because
you're just
if
telling
I
me
know
how
rich people and you know rich people that all do the same thing, and they say if you change the tax code, I will pay it if it makes sense.
Okay.
If not, I
Then
will reduce
let
the
your
amount of money
two
that I make.
friends, if your two friends want to go and do something else, then they can. But we can see that even during Obama, when he had 35% corporate taxes, people were here fucking killing it, making plenty of money. Killing it. Best
We didn't
economy we've
have
ever
the
had.
same inflation we did back then, right? So people didn't mind paying more into
The
the system because it
2017
made
tax
sense.
code was before inflation. It was with 2017. That's when Trump did it.
we did not have the same inflation and cost of goods and services as we do now, right? So people
How do we measure
are
that?
going to be
What are you
more.
talking about? How does that make any
You
difference?
can, it
In
makes a
fact,
huge difference.
inflation caused
Actually,
GDP to skyrocket, actually. So that's the
inflation,
opposite of the
dude,
truth.
inflation isn't the main key point. It doesn't matter if inflation's at like 1%. No. Let's 1.4%, whatever their lowest projection that they want it to be, right? If I go to the goddamn grocery store and I want to buy milk, and milk is $5, and inflation's at 1.5%, it doesn't matter if inflation's at an all-time low if milk is unobtainable for some people. It doesn't work out that way.
Okay,
So
then
if the
you're just
cost
talking
of goods
about
and
like
services,
consolidated things. Like y'all cried about eggs for 2 years, the price of eggs, which just showed how fucking
everyone cried
stupid
about
y'all
eggs.
are.
It's not y'all.
I know, but
Don't
they
do that.
blamed
Everyone cried about
Biden.
eggs.
They blamed Biden. They didn't have anything. It's because we had to kill all the chickens. We had to cull
No,
chickens.
no one. Yes, no one. We had the bird flu.
I
No one blamed
promise
Biden.
you.
The same
No,
reason that
I debated 1,000 of you, and they all thought Biden made eggs more expensive.
yeah, people are stupid, bro. Like, what do you want? You know, shit.
Because Trump.
The reason
Because
why
Trump
beef,
pushed that
the reason
idea
why
into
beef
y'all's
is
heads.
expensive right now is because of the fact that it's a similar issue to eggs, right? Where there's a whole virus that's going on in different parts of Southern America, where the beef that you're getting in, it doesn't have the same quality as before, and they're dying and shit like that, right? They have a virus that's going on, so that's why beef is expensive right now. Or else it would be cheap as shit. Shit happens throughout the world that causes things to be expensive, but
I
eventually,
know.
once
For
things
you to
catch
cry
up,
about
the price
milk
goes
is
down.
the same thing. So if we talk about actual
I use it as an
inflation
example.
and not like outliers, we can see that COVID
But
caused
inflation
most of
doesn't
the
matter,
inflation.
again, if the cost of living is already high. So
Okay,
you can
I don't
have
know what
high
you're saying.
inflation. That's just going to make it worse. Inflation does not matter if the cost of living is already high. So if inflation's already at 2%, right? But if it cost me, I don't know, 3 times the amount to buy something compared to what it did a year ago, then it doesn't matter if inflation's low if that cost of that good has not changed at all. It's the same
I know.
price or not higher.
What I'm saying is you're arbitrarily blaming Democrats or Republicans
I'm not blaming
completely
Democrats for that.
incorrectly.
I literally
This
just
isn't a
told you.
political, this isn't a political debate about who has better policy, and we look at who has better policy, like hands down. There's not even like a 5% like maybe. Democrats always do fucking so much better at the economy. It's insane.
I just gave you an example of why Democrats don't have a better policy with Virginia. They're
because they're raising taxes
creating
because
taxes.
they're in a deficit.
Did
you know that Trump Trump cut the DOE? Right?
Why?
Trump got rid of the DOE. Remember that? Department of Education.
Mhm.
How much money do you think Virginia received
Department of
yearly?
Education still exists. It's not gone, by the way. But
How much do you
keep
think
going.
they received annually from the DOE?
How much, bro?
Let's see.
Because honestly, it doesn't really matter. So what?
It does.
Kind of the overall thing. Of your
$2.5
point that
billion.
you're making.
So it's 10% of their public school funding.
The point of getting rid of the Department of Education is because their kids are getting dumber, right? Because
that makes no sense. So anybody who says that is effectively dumber. Do you think that removing money from the school system makes them smarter?
Well, when you have certain districts where they're receiving overwhelmingly more money, but their kids basically can't read past a second or third grade level.
That's not what
Why
I
are
asked.
we giving
What's the
more
point
money?
of removing money?
I just told you.
Because
I
you
answered
think
your question.
it's unfair that some rich district has underperforming kids. That doesn't mean we should get rid of the
The rich-
entire thing.
Hold on. I'll restate my point that I just made. It doesn't matter if you're getting the most money for something when the resources being used aren't being used efficiently.
So we need to.
If that district, so if in Maryland, right, and not Baltimore.
So take
right,
all
there's
the money
another
away.
district right
If they're
outside
not
of-
using it officially, take it all away for good forever.
No, because
That's
it
what you-
won't go away. The Department of Education was downsized. It's not gone, right?
They're
So
removing
if
plenty
it's-
of funding, and the way that they're justifying it, $286 billion, by the way, the way they're justifying
Why-
it is
Why
that
would you
it's
keep
going to
increasing
help.
funding for something that we know isn't working, though?
Again, that's the con that he played. So he's like, oh,
How
look,
is it a con if we have schools that don't have like a 15% literacy rate, have a 30% literacy
again,
rate? You can
yep,
barely, they
you're
can
not
barely
proving
do
anything.
math.
So what we need to do is make them more poor.
How?
Right? Make them
But
more
hold
poor.
on, bro. Hold on. Rewind. How is that not doing anything? If I'm giving you money to do a job and you did the job half-assed, and it's 20% done, but you're expecting to tell me that it's finished, why am I giving you money for the job?
Again, you're just attributing their failing scores to DOE, and it was political. It was so that he
No,
could
I did
afford
not.
rich tax
No,
rates.
no, 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 no. That's not what I did. That's not what I did at all. What I said to you was, why am I giving you large sums of money to do a job when you half-assed the job? It's not completed all the way. Why would I give you all of that money?
Every single school has a department in which they decide how to spend their monies, and I get a feeling that they go for efficiency
that's my point.
every
You're
year. I got a
saying my
feeling.
point.
Let me finish. I got a feeling that they aim for efficiency every single year, and taking away all of this money didn't help them become more efficient. It didn't help people learn better. Okay,
What
this was
state
just
are you in?
political. I'm in Texas.
What state are you in? You're in Texas. Okay, Texas is fairly good for schools. So
no, it's
I'm originally from Jersey. Texas is fairly decent.
They're
for schools.
48th.
Yes, they are. You guys, Texas is fairly decent.
They're
I said
41st
decent. I didn't
actually.
say good.
That's not good.
I didn't say good. I said
that's
decent.
the very worst.
No, Texas is not the worst in terms of schools at all.
41st?
No, you guys are not on the bottom. You guys are not that bad for schools, bro. If you told me you're in like Missouri, if you're in Tennessee, if you're in
27th and
Louisiana,
40th.
yeah, hell,
27th and 40th. Mostly Republican areas do very poorly in school, and it's because they're underfunded.
So then why is it in that there are certain districts, such as in Jersey, where I'm originally from, and in Maryland, where they have overwhelming funding, and their test scores and their literacy rates
You're doing
are very
causation and
low.
correlation. So what you're
But
trying
I'm-
to
no,
allude
hold on.
to,
I'm
you're
giving-
alluding to the fact that good money means bad scores.
Why am I giving you more money when you're not producing children that are literate, that are able to basically say 1, 2, 3 ABC? Why am I giving you more resources for something if it's not being used effectively?
If we're still failing, what we need to do is make them bankrupt. You're right.
That's not what I said.
That's what you're saying. You're not it begs the question. Like, you're not answering anything. When schools are having a hard time and you're just complaining about mildly not good literacy,
You hold your students back and you hold the parents accountable for their children.
Okay,
That's what you do.
so you're yanking money from them too.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's not good. That
You
doesn't help
hold
anybody. That hurts
Yeah.
mostly Republican areas. Mostly.
Because this is what happens, right? This is what happens, right? I guarantee you this shit, bro. If you went, right, in an area where they're getting all this funding for these schools, and you know for damn sure that Susie Joe over there is reading at a 3rd grade level, but she's an 8th grader, right? If you tell her parents, if you do not help get your child's education better, or we're gonna hold you responsible, they're gonna do something.
I get it. That has nothing to do with funding or not funding schools. And y'all fought for defunding schools so that Trump can give rich people tax breaks.
But why are you giving them more money when they're not doing anything
They
to
will
actually
always
make
need
it
more
better?
money. If you want to make it more efficient, make it more efficient. But don't just axe it and cut education. It's literally the most un-American thing I've ever heard of.
Why recklessly spend? Actually, you're right. Recklessly spending. I mean, we do that a lot, as you know.
I mean, Republicans do. Republicans recklessly spend every time they're in office. Democrats reduce the deficit.
Biden gave a lot of money to Israel and Ukraine. That
And
didn't
Trump
really
gave
do
even
anything.
more, right?
That we saw actually somewhat did something, because part of those things have actually somewhat decreased compared to what they did
Haven't
back
done
then.
anything.
So there was a bit of a change.
Not really, no. Biden gave like $300 billion worth of used old shit, like Abrams tanks, to Ukraine. Trump just politicized it, made it look like it was like so much. Trump
Why
gives
were
his
we in
friends
Ukraine in
billions.
the first place? Why did this war start?
Because Putin wants to invade his neighbors all the time.
That wasn't why. That wasn't the only reason why it started.
Why?
There were
Why did it start?
Because his son was making illegitimate deals, dealing with energy.
You sweet
that
spirit.
That was the
There's
whole
no
Biden
evidence of that.
laptop. That was the whole laptop fiasco that started the shit in the first place, bro.
Sure. So, Hunter Biden.
That was what the emails found. That was the whole connection to it. That started
Hunter
a lot of.
Biden-
So Russia was going to be cut off from a coastal area where they needed to actually be able to ship out ships, right? They said, "Oh no, fuck that shit. We're going to go take Ukraine," because they already took Crimea beforehand.
So
right?
you admit that
'Cause
it had
they
nothing to do
needed
with
that area too.
So Hunter Biden had nothing to do with it, is what you're saying.
No, he was part of it. We saw based on the leaks of documents that came out showing that he was part of the.
All right,
He was
let me talk to
basically
you.
doing
Let me
some
talk to you about this, okay? Hunter Biden used to work for a company called Amtrak. Do you know what they did?
What did Amtrak do?
Logistics by rail.
Mhm.
Then he went to go work for a company called Burisma. Do you know what they do?
What do they do?
Logistics, energy.
Okay.
He was doing a job over there. A prosecutor named Viktor Shulkin was a Russian asset, a pro-Russian prosecutor who was not investigating the wrongdoings of Burisma and some other people in the government. When he was ousted, or when Biden threatened the Ukraine with no more funding unless that guy was fired, that was the wish of the American military, the American government, and the UN. It was because Viktor Shulkin was corrupt. And where did he go when he was fired? He went to Russia. Okay? That has nothing to do with why Russia invaded. So they invade their neighbors every few years because it keeps them from joining NATO. And it gives them more territory. And just like you said, it is the only warm water port that Russia can use during the winter because it doesn't freeze over. So yes, they are literally just doing it because they are tyrants. They are trying to invade their fucking neighbors, not because Hunter Biden was in Ukraine making money.
You're missing one key thing. Hold on, you're missing one key thing. The UN, including America, was conspiring to lock Russia away from energy, from being able to sell energy. They were kicking them off to be able
Nord
to do
Stream
what they do to
2.
make
What
money,
about
right?
Nord Stream? Didn't Biden approve? Doesn't Trump cry all the time that we enabled the Nord Stream pipeline?
Sure.
Okay, so that doesn't
Sure.
make sense.
Why does that not make sense?
Because we did the
this is
exact opposite of
literally
what
their
you just said.
How does it not make sense?
Because
Explain.
that transports energy from Germany to fucking Russia, dude.
So how does that take away from what I'm saying?
Because Biden didn't specifically disallow Russia until they invaded their neighbor. He specifically did not sanction Russia.
So they didn't sanction them and allow them to go ahead and do that. That's what you're saying, right? Because we know that that's not true based on the document leaks that we've seen already and information that's been provided out, bro.
What leaks?
This is said. Oh, this is started with the laptop situation, and then what we
Nothing
learned
came out of
later
the
on.
laptop. Literally zero. Literally zero things, zero indictments,
This
zero
is the
allegations.
information that
No
came out with
real
the laptop
indictments came out.
situation.
No laptop thing came out.
No, because they didn't want to arrest. They didn't want to arrest anyone. They just
They had
basically
nothing.
let it go.
This was a red herring.
They did.
There is a
It's not
there
a
is
red
a
herring.
whole movie
They
on
did.
this. There's
They
a whole
did
movie.
not want to persecute anyone. They wanted it to just be let go. The
No,
same way
not
that
true.
the same way that the government right now is doing with the Epstein files, where they're just trying to let that shit magically go, is what they did with the Biden
What
laptop. They're
crime?
trying to let it go.
There's no
It's the same
crime that
shit.
you can point to. Trump started continuing Ukraine at
No,
the same
you're
exact
right.
rate.
It's not a crime. It's not a crime to sit and lock a country away from being able to do business. You're right. It's not a crime. It's
Who
shitty
locked
as
them
fuck,
away?
but
Who
it's
locked
not a
who
crime.
away? Who locked who away?
The European countries and the United States colluded together to lock Russia away from being able to disperse energy to different places.
But specifically,
that was
I
the whole
just
point
told
of why
you.
the war went the way it did.
Okay, first of all, Russia, who is largely an adversary of just about everyone on the planet besides our adversaries, literally has invaded Georgia, they invaded Crimea, and they invaded Ukraine multiple times. And whatever excuse you're giving them just sounds weird, but it's
What
not
excuse
because
to who? Russia?
Yes, they're.
So you're saying it's a good thing that if we did that, that's a good thing, right? Is that what you're saying?
If we did what?
If we lock them away from being able to disperse their resources to other
Yes,
countries
we
to sell
should
oil,
punish.
you're saying that's a good
We
thing.
should punish them for killing their neighbors. Yeah.
So what do you think that the sanctions were for?
Killing their neighbors?
No, this Russian. Why would they put sanctions on if they're already blocking them away? Because Russia was already selling oil in the block. They're still selling oil in the black market, by the way. So it's not really working at
Right,
well.
Trump's
no, most of the
dealing
countries they were
straight with
selling
them.
to are pretty
Trump
much
is doing business
gone.
straight with them. He's straight up doing business with them again.
Every country is, bro.
No, they're not. No, they are not.
Yes, they.
No, they're not.
Yes, Iran, Venezuela.
Yeah, not
They
anymore.
were.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's why I stopped myself. I can't say it for Venezuela anymore.
Yeah, not with
you
Cuba.
know,
Trump's blocking ships right now that were from Russia to Cuba.
Cuba's Cuba's a fun situation right now, but uh, overall, the point is that if you're going to stop a nation from being able to sell its most lucrative asset, they're going to go to war. So doing that caused them to basically retaliate and to start
That
a
did
war.
not
We
do
didn't
that.
have to do that.
Ukraine had no control over whether or not they could ship their resources anywhere. How does
No,
that
but
make
they
any
were
sense?
used as a fucking nexus and as a proxy to start something that didn't have to happen.
How did they start it?
You want me to say it again?
So the U.S. putting sanctions on them after they invaded is why they
No,
invaded?
not the sanctions. Not the sanctions.
Okay.
They went to the companies. They went to those companies and they said, yo, we're going to stop any Russian oil from leaving these areas. No more.
At what date?
And Russia said, oh, we're not doing this.
At what date?
And they retaliated and they fought back.
When is that? When was that?
This is what started the war.
So this was like, what, 2020, 2019?
This is what started the war.
So during Trump?
This is what started. No.
Oh.
No, it didn't happen during Trump.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think no one's ever said that to me. I think it's completely just wild theory and made up. But the reason
not.
they're starting,
This is kind of the consensus
did you
at
know
this
that
point.
Ukraine used to be part of the USSR?
Yes,
Ukraine
I know,
was
I'm aware.
Kiev was the capital at one point, and
Yeah,
that's why
Russia-
Putin dreams
Yeah.
of a day that he could
Did you
bring the
know that?
USSR back.
Did you know Russia used to be a democratic republic at one point too?
Yeah.
And then they went communist. So I was
Yep.
thinking that was going to work out.
Sure. They were a communist
I know things
authoritarian
too.
country.
Yeah, it didn't work out for them. That's why all their people are struggling.
And now
they're
they
having
want
a
that
hard
back,
time
right?
with it.
Like Putin wants that back. He wants that back.
You can't take it back. It's over. You just do trade with people at this point. They have resources
but
they
Putin
can
wants
leverage.
it. That's why he's invading Ukraine, not because of some silly bullshit thing that you just said. Hunter
They're
Biden.
invading Ukraine because it's easier for them to go ahead and have a port there rather than go the long
There
way.
you
It's the same
go.
reason why.
There you go.
It's the
So it
same,
wasn't Biden's
It's the
fault.
same reason why we want Greenland, right? Because of
No.
the Arctic point that's up there, right?
We
We
want-
don't want to make it. We want to
So-
make it difficult for China and Russia to be able to control those seas up there. For
It's
them
already
to
part of
basically-
NATO. It's already part of NATO. So Trump wants it for some other reason.
Like what? Because I know the other reasons.
Resources.
Why. So what do you
Resources.
think the other reasons why?
Resources.
Yes, it would be for resources. Those resources are good for everybody, though, right?
Including Greenland, right?
Yes, they
Yeah,
would
it's
make
theirs.
more money substantially.
It's theirs.
So why are people against the Greenland deal?
Yeah, we're not going to be able to go steal their stuff. Sorry.
We're not stealing anything. We say, hey, you want to sell it to us? We'll make you guys get more money. We'll give you also passports and citizenship for America. That means you guys get more, better lives, better things.
Yeah, no.
That's not a bad
Actually,
thing.
no. They would lose their health care. It would be absolutely fucked, but sure.
What else would they lose besides healthcare?
All sorts of social benefits. You know how fucking Denmark's like ranked one of the top countries consistently on Earth?
Yeah.
US is not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are we going to do for them?
I think the U.S. does better monetary-wise, and there's a reason why we're U.S. number
No, we
one.
don't. China does better, right? China's way better at monetary stuff. We should do like
I
them.
mean, they copied the Japanese who copied us to get their greatness. So I think they
No,
got it
actually,
from the
they're
source of-
completely unique from the Japanese and us. What?
No, bro. The
Japanese
only reason why China,
capitalism. They're straight capitalists in Japan.
yes, China, they literally went to China to figure out why are you guys still doing so well when you're such a small fucking country? Because they're far doing better than them.
Small.
And they basically gave them the cheat code, which was what? Capitalism. They don't even have full capitalism. They're still a socialist country, but guess what? The things that made them money were the capitalism things.
How come?
The idea of
how
creating
come-
small and medium businesses and factories.
How
in
come
order
they're
to
doing
boost your
so much
economy.
better than us?
They're
If they're
not
just
doing
if they're
that
just
much better
stealing
than
our
us.
idea, they are. They're fucking light years ahead of us. In every way.
Why are they more impoverished than we are?
They're not. They have no homeless people, actually. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
They have almost
If-
no population of homeless people.
If
No.
you go to some of the Chinese streams, there are people who stream on the streets homeless because that's how they make money. Like that's what they
Mhm.
do out there. They do have
That's fun.
homelessness.
We can look at it. It's literally that the government just provides you a home. So how if you're homeless,
No,
you
they
just literally
don't.
yes they do. What? Yes
They don't
they
just
do.
provide you a home.
Yes.
Then why are there homeless people if they just
There's
provide you a
not.
home?
There's not. I don't know what TikTok you saw, but there's really not. Their airports are luxurious. Their airports look fucking from the future. Their cities are far more developed than us. They central plan the shit. Their entire cities look like something out of fantasy games.
Because the government pays for all of that stuff.
Oh,
You
wow.
know that, right?
Wow, what a great thing.
But why are they so impoverished?
They're not. They're not.
Yes, they're more impoverished than. Look up, right? Because I'm on my phone talking to you. What is the average amount that a Chinese person makes compared to an American citizen?
All right, but we're gonna have to do cost of living next, right?
Do it for Beijing. Do it for Beijing. Why not? Do their biggest city.
Yeah.
And do New York. Because I can tell you right now, if you live in New York, you're making way more money than someone does in Beijing.
So in Beijing, you can get like a fucking like badass apartment, like suite. So it's 50% more.
We do that too, right? It's called Section 8, by the way. We
don't give luxury apartments in Section 8. No, we don't have Section 8 luxury apartments. And you guys cry about it all the time. This is something built in. Often 50% or more, particularly regarding rent. So it's 50% more expensive to live in New York City. And so if you make 50% less, right, that's fine.
Did you look up how much it costs of living, though?
That's
right?
what
like
I
I'm saying
just stated you. That's where we've
No.
started.
You didn't give me, bro. You didn't give me hard numbers. Don't do that. Come
What
on.
is a
give me hard
number
numbers.
metric for cost of living?
Look up. You can literally type this into ChatGPT, and it will break down to you food. It will break down rent. It will break down how much money you make, insurance, the cost of a vehicle,
Right.
transportation.
I get it. And what do you want? Middle class, lower class, high class? What are you talking about, dude?
The average in those two cities. We're going to do New York City and Beijing.
Okay. Daily life in Beijing is cheaper. Groceries, public transit, local dining, often $2 to $4 for a meal. What do you think it costs in New York? $20, $40?
For an average cost of a meal in New York,
Yeah.
You're paying like $20, bro.
Yeah. So
how much
it's
does that
quarter.
person make
So-
in Beijing?
So making
hold on. How much does that
again-
person make?
Okay. $11,000 annually is average monthly salary for urban employees, often exceed 15,000. Average rating grew to approximately 113 CNY, consistently ranking among the highest in the country. Monthly income, a common average monthly gross salary in Beijing is around 15,000 RMB, according to recent data. Cost of living, while incomes are high, living expenses renting a place in the city often cost at least 6,500 RMB per month, which is far less than a quarter. So they're doing great. Is your rent in New York a quarter
You said
of what your income is?
You said 15,000 RMB.
15,000 RMB, and your rent is 6,500. Do you think that New Yorkers feel the same way about their rent being a quarter of their salary? I don't think so. If you want a shoebox in New York, it's like $3,000.
So they make $2,000 a month, right?
Mm-hmm. And their rent is $500.
They make $2,000 a month.
And the rent's $500.
So New York has horrible rent policies unless you're in like a rent control apartment. You're a rent control apartment, and generally you have good policies, right?
Here's the code.
So, right. So, if you're making $2,000 a month there, and things are slightly less expensive,
way less, a quarter,
slightly less,
a quarter of the expense.
But I'm making more money living in New York when most people in New York, generally who are middle class, generally are making 6 figures. They can afford to live.
Okay.
They can afford that.
Literally,
You're making more money.
Middle class is below, I believe, 35K. So Thanks to Republicans, we don't have a middle class.
No, New York, nah, not national average, and that's not even national average. It's like 70, it's like 78K right now, national average.
Yeah, you spend far more in New York than Beijing. Beijing and China's economy is far more superior than the United States. That's why we're spending
The median
all of our
household
money.
income from New York City is $113,000
Dog,
right now.
Beijing specifically is far more advanced in technology and infrastructure. They have trains that go 400 miles an hour. They are far superior than us. We have potholes. They don't. Their shit is supreme. We are living in a shithole that y'all have built for us. You refuse to pay taxes. You cut taxes at every corner. You scream freedom. You don't want anything nice.
Why don't you move if China's so great, my friend?
Because there's more of us than y'all. We're just trying to get it to where we can our vote counts.
What do you mean?
There's more liberals than
What do you mean?
Republicans.
No. But that doesn't take away from the argument. If China's so great, why don't you move?
I don't know.
And I would say that if I'm talking about, and I would practice what I preach. If there was a country that is greater than where I'm at right now, I would try to move. So
Okay,
you're saying that
I can't
China's
afford
so
it.
great, why not?
So I can't afford it. So I'm just gonna vote to make and show the American people from my channel maybe that here are some good ideas that worked in other countries. Why don't we do them here? And then I don't know. Conservative brains usually just break, but I say why don't we just keep going
So
and
why
improving?
would we change? But
Why don't we
this is
just
the
keep
other side of
going?
this argument. This is the other
Why
side of
don't
that
you
argument,
move
right?
to Russia? Why don't you move to Russia where they control elections?
Why would I when
where-
America's already a better country?
All right, no, we're heading in the direction of Russia. All the things you want are very
No, we're not.
Russian, very authoritarian
I
dictator.
mean, hey,
very
if you want
Hungarian.
communists to take over, sure, we might.
Who's a
we might head
communist?
in that
Who's a
direction.
communist that's running in our party?
I don't know. Bernie Sanders, in my opinion, should have probably beat Trump, right? When he was fucking.
So
he,
you
look,
admit
we gonna
there's
agree on this
nobody,
shit.
even
They
the people you
stole
like.
from Bernie.
Again, so
when
you
Hillary
like
got hit the. Huh?
so you
What are
like
gonna
our
say, bro?
far left politicians, but you hate them at the same time.
There are some politicians on the left that I like.
He's
and
like
there's
as
some
far
politicians on
left
the
as
that
you
I
go.
don't like.
We have no communists. We have everybody in our
Bernie
party.
never, Bernie never used to be that far left, right? You know, this is basically because he
He's
has to
not
be
even
this way. If
communist.
you look at, yes, if you look at Bernie in the 90s, the things he used to say, he wasn't saying these things. Most of the politicians on the left weren't saying these things. You know that, right?
Okay, and y'all have come far further right? We've come a long way
No.
from Reagan talking
No,
about
most
giving
of the
amnesty
people who
to all
run-
these people.
No.
Amnesty.
No,
and,
there's
and
like
you guys have gone to mass
there's
deportation.
like a 20-30% part of Republicans who are rhinos, who are fucking evil bastards who probably should die, right? Because they're evil, racist motherfuckers, right? But then you have the rest of them who basically are borderline just in the middle. Who
You
have
guys are
basically
very
become more right.
tribalistic. You guys are very tribalistic. So anybody who doesn't fall right in line with your
All of
policies,
humanity is tribalistic.
I'm saying you guys are very tribalistic, and anybody who doesn't fall right
All
in
of
line,
humanity is tribalistic.
anybody who doesn't fall right in line is a rhino. So Mitch McConnell, or fucking
Most
anybody.
Republicans don't like Mitch McConnell.
Okay, again, all of the people who were like Republicans who vote 94% with your party. The
Do you
second
know
they
why
say
a lot of the
something-
MAGA base was attacking Trump about the Epstein stuff? Is because they don't respect the fact that they're lying in his face. They don't like that shit.
Trump's lying in your face?
That's been a normal consensus. You can't tell somebody that it's a Democrat hoax when we know that there's multiple people in multiple different governments connected to it, potentially even himself. And they're trying to downplay it.
Duh.
That's my point that I'm making.
I know, but everybody who comes out, I'm not talking about Epstein.
Bro,
I'm talking
can
about.
I tell you something
Stop,
about myself?
Stop.
Can I
no.
tell you something about myself?
No, you can't. The second
I'm
somebody comes
not
out,
a Republican, you idiot.
I don't
I'm
care.
in the middle.
No, you're not. If you side with
Like-
Trump, you're far right.
No, Trump was the lesser of the two evils.
I don't care if it was evil or not. It's far right.
Do you know the phrase "what the lesser of the two evils" means?
Yeah, you can't quantify that.
Do you know what the phrase that the lesser of the two evils mean? It means that I'm gonna get fucked either way. Who's gonna fuck me less? Because you got to pick one person that's gonna fuck you less than the other one.
I'd have a hard time figuring out how Kamala, the
He
prosecutor,
lowered taxes for the
would
so
fuck
if
you
you're
less.
struggling, right? And Trump lowered taxes because you're in that lower class, such as I am, right? Wouldn't that have been a benefit for you?
No. No, the economy's worse.
Then compared to what time period?
Compared to a year ago.
A year ago. So
Yes.
right now, compared to a year ago, it's worse? We're
Yes.
in February, where we were
Yes.
still affected by what happened during the time when Biden was in office. Hell no.
You
That's
can't even
not
tell
even
me a thing
close
that
to
he
being
did.
true.
You can't even tell me a thing he did bad in office.
What he's done, that he bombed Iran. I can name that one right there.
Okay, you're
That's
saying
probably
our
the worst thing he
economy's
did.
reeling, right? Our economy's reeling from something Biden did. What did he do that was
No,
bad?
no, no, no. No, I never even said our economy was even that good. I keep
Yes, you
asking
did.
you to compare it to which times for a
I'm
reason,
asking
because
you for
it's
some
okay
nuance.
right now. I didn't say it was good.
I'm asking you for nuance. So right now, compared to a year ago, it was worse than what Biden left him.
No,
right off
it's
the
not.
bat. Right off the
Compared
bat.
to a year ago, it's way better than what it was.
No, it's not.
It's not close.
On what
Rent
metric?
right now is lower in most places. Our cost of housing is lower. To buy a home is lower.
What
The
policy
price to
did that?
purchase a home is lower.
What policy did that?
Car rates are lower.
What policy did that?
APR rates are lower right now
policy did
compared
that?
to a year ago.
What policy did that?
You asked me the economy versus then versus now.
I know.
That was
You're
your
just
question,
doing some
right?
causation correlation. So if Trump gets to just take credit for
That's
things
not
that
what
are
I
organically
did. You
happening.
hold on. I answered your question. You asked me compared to then and now, right? And now you're moving the goalposts and you're saying, did Trump cause this to happen?
Yes, if you're going to brag about things about the economy, I want
So
to know
then
what happened.
I said to you, hold on. I said to you then, right? When the big beautiful bill passed for permanent tax cuts for people, which was retroactive for some things, right? So when people get their tax refunds over the next couple of weeks, they will gain more money than they did before. We have the projections already for that.
I know.
That's a positive, is it not?
No, not really. So we have all.
How is that not a positive?
I'm trying to explain.
You're going to tell Miss Susie Joe down the street who has 3-4 kids that her getting more money this year is not a positive for her when she's already on a strict budget? That doesn't sound very for the middle class to be a Democrat.
Kamala would have done far better for Susie with 3 kids.
She copied all of Trump's ideas. No, she wouldn't have done.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did, bro. Trump already
didn't have
had his
anything.
shit posted of what he wanted to do. Kamala did it later, and everything that she was going to do, Trump already said he was going to do.
Not true. Trump didn't actually have any. Okay, Trump didn't have any policies written down. When she asked him about
on
his
his
policies,
website during when he was running, he had everything listed of what he
everything
wanted
is
to do.
still there, and we can fucking look at it. And if you have anything over a 60 IQ, you would know that it's a fucking 8th grade equivalent of running for fucking class president, dude. It's sad. It's sad.
So, all right. So those things that are up there, right? Most of them have been either attempted or have been done.
No. And they're bad.
They just passed executive orders at the beginning of last year for IVF treatments that they were trying to now pass into a bill at some point.
Okay.
So go ahead and have the cost lower for that.
I want you to look at my. I want you to look at my stream.
They lowered the cost of prescription drugs.
All right,
that
that's
was
cute.
also a thing that they wanted to do.
That's cute. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm talking
How is
about.
that? Don't do that, bro.
He didn't
you
say
gave
anything.
me something,
He
and I
didn't say-
responded back with something tangible that
Look
happened.
at the screen. Okay? This is Trump's website, and the first thing that pops up is that a click. I'm going to click on this. It's a pop-up, and I'm sure he's going to be asking for money. Oh, merchandise. Okay. And then if you go to his platform, you'll see that his actual platform is literally -5 IQ. Carry out largest deportation operation in history. End inflation. That's incoherent. Make America affordable again. He already said affordability is a Democrat hoax. None of this stuff makes any fucking sense. And then
He says stupid ass shit, bro.
Make America dominant
want?
energy.
Everyone-
You looked at this, you're like, no, Kamala's got better ideas. Kamala actually had fucking
She said
actual
some of the same
economic plans. She had actual
Like what?
82-page plan with
Like
actual
what?
numbers. She was going to build homes.
Like what?
She had all of her actual
How can
tax
she build
brackets
homes?
spelled out.
She can't build homes the same way Trump can't build homes. How would she build homes?
She was going to give tax incentives to home builders.
They already do that now. That's
they don't.
already in place. So
New
what
ones.
else would have she done?
New ones.
More, give more money away. So that's gonna
Way
homes
less
aren't
than
being
Trump.
built
Trump
because
gave
there
away
are
way more money.
restrictions. Do you
Trump
know
gave
why
away
homes
way
are
more
not
money.
being built where they need to be built?
Okay, again, Kamala had a full plan, comprehensive plan, by the way. Trump has this. It's sad. It's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting here telling me how you looked at Trump's plan, and she just copied his, when the only two things you could really find in common is child tax credit and no tax on tips. No tax on tips was a Bernie plan, by the way. So he stole that from Bernie. It's a liberal idea, but he basically gave no tax. He gave tax cuts to
Because Trump
everyone
is
to
more of
capture
a liberal.
every single person. No, he's not more of a liberal. Every single other
Yeah,
one of
he
his
is.
policies are
Trump, you know,
very
Trump is
far
not a
right.
full-blown conservative, right?
He's far right. He's a fascist.
He's not far right.
Every
If you
single one of
talk
his
to like a
policies
lot of
are
far,
fascist.
bro, if you talk to real far right people, they will literally tell you that Trump is not that far right.
Okay, I don't care. All you have to do is look at his policies and put
But
them on
that
a
was
scale.
the statement that you just made. How do you not care? You mean
If
that
you
it's
look
not
at his
going to the
actual
point that you're
policies
trying to make?
and if you map out his policies on an actual scale, every one of them are far, far right. Far right.
They're not.
They're
They're not that far right.
Mass
They're
deportation.
pretty moderate,
Mass
actually.
deportation is very far right. As far right as
Obama
you
was
go.
saying this shit when he was in office doing the same thing. So I don't think
Nope.
that's far right.
It's very far right. So if Obama came out and said that
Clinton deported more people than Obama and Trump combined. I don't think he was far
this
right.
is the difference. So Obama
Biden
didn't,
also deported more people than Trump did.
Correct.
I don't think he's far right either.
correct. So they didn't run on deporting people and they didn't demonize and call them poisoning the blood of the country or vermin or people with bad genetics or rapists or killers. He did it quietly, and he did 70% of his deportations were
They
criminals.
didn't do it quietly. You know that Obama
Criminals.
actually, because of the ICE raids that they did back in the day, Obama has the most deaths involved with people getting taken by ICE.
Okay,
They've killed
and
more people during Obama.
I looked at all of this, and every single one of these incidents was from people dying from poor health care and poor conditions. It wasn't from being shot or
During Obama.
strangled.
During
Correct.
Obamacare?
Correct.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, undocumenteds don't get Obamacare.
But we were giving them treatment, I guess, now because
And,
I don't know.
and
it's
how
not-
many
hey,
how many people would you say?
I think it's like 89 people that died. It's almost
like
100,
50 or 60.
If I fucking
It's like
remember
50 or
correctly.
60. Yeah.
It's like 80 something people that died. It's between 86 to 89 people. I literally just saw it 2 days ago.
Yeah. So you're just trying to make them both the same. Trump, 70% of the people he's
Because they
deporting.
do the same shit.
70% of
I
the
keep
people.
telling you, I'm not a Republican. I'm a
70
moderate, bro.
No, you're
I'm
not.
calling out the bullshit. The
you're not.
entire time we've been talking for an hour, my friend, I have called out shit Trump has done, and I've called out shit the people on the left has done.
No, you
I've
haven't.
been very fucking honest for both sides.
Okay, so
I called out
Trump.
his Epstein
I'm gonna
shit.
finish. I'm gonna
I
finish.
called out him bombing Iran.
I'm gonna
I
finish.
called out the
what I
bullshit. Even
said.
for some, if
I'm
you
gonna-
want to even ask me what bad things he's done with ICE, I could even tell you that. The thing that you're
you don't
on
get a
right
gold
now
star
is
for
that fuck Trump, fuck everything that he does or says, right? You're not trying to make really a cohesive point that would basically sway someone from the really far right side, right, on why he's bad. Because you're not really going super deep into arguments, right?
I can.
Because I'm a person who's in the middle.
No,
So
you're not.
You're not convincing me that
So-
well, and I'm pretty much in the middle. How are you going to convince someone who's far right?
I'm gonna illustrate how you're not in the middle. What's the net positive in mass deportation?
You get more jobs for the lower class.
False.
That's actually the positive.
That's actually not true. It's
How?
the opposite of true.
How?
Every 500,000 deportations we do, 44,000 U.S. citizens lose jobs.
44,000 U.S. citizens lose jobs.
Yes.
Every how many deportations?
500,000.
In which areas? And how? Why are
There's
these people
no
losing their
metric
jobs?
you can point to that is positive for the economy with mass deportation. So if after you're done fishing my brain for facts and data,
I'm
go look
asking
for
you
it
why
yourself.
and how. You're
I don't need
giving
to-
me numbers without
okay,
anything
when
to
people-
fall back
when
with,
people
with
are
an
here-
explanation.
Okay, when people are here and they're buying things, that causes movement in the economy. So when you just move those people out of the country, that's less
So
movement in
supply
the
and
economy.
demand, right? So the demand rises, meaning that things are more expensive because that's how supply and demand works. So when you deport the illegals, that means that the demand for something goes down, meaning that the price goes down, meaning it's better for the lower class.
Hey, I want you got a phone on you?
I'm talking to you on my phone.
You gotta
my friend.
you want to minimize it real quick and just Google, hey, does mass deportation create jobs for U.S. citizens, or does mass deportation make things cheaper? Go ahead and do it.
That's supply and demand.
Yeah, I know what you keep saying. You have like a fourth grade understanding of economics, but just Google it.
Bro, that's a supply and demand.
I get
If
what
you're
you got to
getting
tell
rid-
yourself to sleep tonight, but just Google it for me, okay?
It's supply and demand.
Uh-huh.
It's very simple.
You sound like a
So if I have
like
a fourth grade
NPC.
understanding of this, right? So
Yeah.
if you're saying I have a fourth grade understanding of how economics work, right? And somehow, in some way, shape, or form, that your understanding exceeds my fourth grade level of economics, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is what I'm saying incorrect?
So in a vacuum, supply demand is absolutely true. But when you look at the economy as a whole, when you don't just look at supply and demand and people changing places in their job, in the workplace, if you don't think of anything else, such as their landlord not collecting rent money or them
Hold on,
not
hold on,
buying
rewind. You said a
groceries.
very key word. You said a very key word. Changing their workplaces, right?
Uh-huh.
In what areas? In what areas?
So they are overrepresented in a few areas like construction, farms, all these other things, hospitality. That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying generally, it doesn't matter what jobs they're performing. I'm saying the jobs
It does.
that they are affecting is not just the
It
job they're
does.
performing. No, it's not just the job they're performing. It's everywhere where they create demand. So if they go to Subway and they buy sandwiches once a day, that is going to cause Subway to fire people that work there, or people in their supply chain, or people that print their posters. All of the things vertically or horizontally aligned with those industries are affected when consumers are reduced.
So then what happens to the original populace where they get priced out due to cheap labor and they're unable to get those jobs? What do those people do?
So I know exactly the numbers. 63% to the top half of the economy, their wages will go down.
No. I'm not asking you a
telling
number.
you both.
I'm asking you.
I'm telling you
I'm
both.
asking you what
The
do they
bottom
do? What
half
are they
of
forced
the
to do?
economy will see a raise in their income and their wages by 1.1%.
How if they don't have those
in the
jobs?
following,
So I'm asking you, what
in
are
the
they forced to
following
do?
year, I'm not going to teach you how economic works. I'm just going to teach you what happens first.
Bro, I'm asking you, if the lower half is told, hey, we are going with someone else that are better suited for the job, right? A new person comes in. We know that this person is getting paid however they're getting paid, but it's less than what that other person made, right? What is that person who is now jobless supposed to do at this point in order to make money or make more money? Because if you're saying that they're making more money at this lower half, how are they making more money when they're unemployed?
You didn't let me finish. So the lower half will see a 1.1% increase in wages, and then the very next year they see a 0.6% decrease in wages. So it helps literally nobody. Dude, I don't know. Go ask ChatGPT, dude. I'm not going to teach you economics. Here's the truth, though.
Bro,
that's the truth.
No, you're citing me numbers without giving me an explanation. That doesn't help anyone.
I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. Go learn it.
You're not hurting my feelings. I'm asking you to explain for your audience, bro. Because I already understand what you're trying to tell me. I keep asking you how, not to explain to me. I'm asking you to explain to other people.
I just did.
I keep
the demand.
asking you how.
So when someone's here and they work a job for $8 an hour, and then they're deported from the country, and that workplace hires somebody for 11, the price of whatever they're selling goes up, involving homes, involving groceries, all those things. So the trade of those things also is reduced, and GDP or revenue in grocery stores and everything else is reduced.
So then when you mass deport people, right? So when you mass deport people, right? And then now you have a lower amount of people that are consuming goods, because we just talked about supply and demand, right? So then what happens to the overall local populace of people that are already working at these jobs, right? Because we're going to talk about micro and macro levels at this point now, because now I'm trying to get into the micro levels of what we're talking, the macro levels of what we're talking about, right? Because everything expands on each other. If I am in a state, specifically say I'm in Richmond, Virginia, right? And the biggest form of how people make money is fucking construction, right? If you basically make less than I don't know, man, like $40,000-$50,000 a year, that's their biggest form. If they are getting priced out by the illegal workforce that's coming over here, then it only affects that place specifically. Because remember, the illegals were only going to specific states in specific cities more directly. So only those places are affected by it directly, right?
No.
So when we're talking about how this affects the entire country, because you're giving me statistics for the overall country and not for specific places. That's why I keep asking you where. Because when you're looking at numbers, you have to take into account where are these people at, what's it being affected by, and where places, because those things matter to these statistics. Because you can be reading something,
none of this happened.
Bullshit. It doesn't actually mean anything to the overall point.
You want it so bad to happen in a vacuum where you might be unaffected, or the majority of people might be unaffected. But what you just illustrated,
the majority of people will be unaffected by most of what we're talking about right now.
I think the majority of the people will be unaffected by undocumented migrants being present, wouldn't they?
No and yes. It depends where you live.
Well, overall, Every single.
Hold on. You were about to agree with me.
No, I wasn't.
Isn't it true?
I wasn't.
It depends where you
Overall,
live, does it
doesn't.
not?
No, because on
Why
a federal.
doesn't it? Why doesn't it?
On a federal level, this affects the budget to the tune of at least $1 trillion over the next 10 years. It affects the GDP. So you're going to be paying more taxes. You are also going to be in a like walking through mud for the next few years, because we now just paid, I think it was like $300 billion.
My taxes don't change when there's more people that's in the country.
So we are less. What's it called?
I got you, bro. I got you.
We are
the illegals that we're talking about who's paying into taxes, right? They're not our multimillionaires that are still paying most of our taxes. So that's still a drop in the bucket. We know that they don't affect the economy that much based on the numbers
You're
that
just
we have.
you're just
So
looking at direct
it doesn't
effects.
matter.
I'm talking about economic feedback. You're thinking about this one migrant not paying just a little bit of
I'm
money.
thinking
We're
about
talking
the
all
macro
of
and
it.
the micro levels of how these things get affected.
I don't
by
care
everybody.
at all. I don't care at all about the micro effects. If that's like your saving grace, like, oh, some people might not feel it. I'm talking about the whole nation. We're talking about
The
presidency.
whole nation will not feel
The
it.
whole nation will feel it.
The whole nation will not feel it.
Yes, they will.
It depends
It's
where you
all
live.
negative. Every single bit of mass deportation is negative for everybody in every metric.
No, it's
even
not.
in crime stats. In everybody. Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. And you're radicalized if you think not. You're just giving me some like 4th grade economics bullshit when no person with any sort of authority in economics says this.
But you haven't really given me concrete evidence to prove me wrong, though.
All right, I'll show you.
You're just kind of name calling.
Okay. Here, I'm going to just Google it with you. This is a liberal thing, all right? Mass deportation of unauthorized immigrants is projected to significantly shrink the U.S. economy, with estimates adjusting $900 billion over the cost of 10 years, and a potential GDP reduction of 7%. Which, if you think about tax breaks, that was a 0.4% increase, and that cost us trillions. It's fucking stupid. Compared to the Great Recession, comparable to the Great Recession. It would trigger massive labor shortages in sectors like agriculture, construction, hospitality, leading higher prices, inflation, and decreased
But
demand.
that's not accounting for the population that we already have that exists
It
to
is.
run and do these things.
This is accounting everything. This is accounting our model for our country. This is accounting for that. Yes.
It's not accounting for those things.
Yes, it is. Penn Wharton.
You can
the people who
literally
teach,
tell it's not accounting for it.
It is. Mass deportation and unauthorized immigrants' fiscal and economic effects. There's nothing good here for you. I challenge you to just go find some shit that de-radicalize yourself and deconstruct these stupid things that you think, and just
My friend.
just
my friend.
find someone
You
to
have
explain
not
it better.
proven me wrong. You
Find-
haven't proven me
find
wrong. And
somebody
the
that-
one moment you were about to agree with me was funny, because I keep telling you that I'm not a Republican, right? I'm not on the right. I'm in the center. You
You're
have
a
not
bigot.
proven me wrong.
You're a bigot. You're adhering to an idea
How
with
am
no
I being
reason.
a bigot?
It's
How
not
am I
my
being a
job to
bigot?
teach you economics. I want you
You
to
are
teach me how
trying
this
to
is
have an
wrong.
argument within a debate with me, right? So it is your job to provide the burden of proof when we're having a conversation
is.
back
Penn
and
Wharton.
forth to your
Penn Wharton.
arguments.
Penn
So
Wharton.
no, it is your job to
Penn
do
Wharton. Penn Wharton is my source. Okay, now you go find a source for me to look at so I can audit my ideas. Teach me how to think. Teach me how to think the way you're thinking. Go ahead.
So, and I'll explain it to you one more time again. If we know that with a data set is usually constricted to primarily certain areas, right? And they use this data set to try to join all the other data sets from different areas, but they don't consider the variables for that area and why the data set looks the way it is, meaning it's an incomplete data set, right? This is just basic statistics, right? This is nothing crazy, nothing
This is
out
the
of the
big
ordinary,
picture.
right?
This is the big picture. This is not incomplete.
How is it not incomplete?
This
Because if I
is
live
the big picture.
If I live in Iowa, no. If I live in Idaho and I grow fucking potatoes, right? I don't really have that much illegal labor out there. My people haven't changed. I'm not affected by this. So it doesn't matter if they get deported or it doesn't matter if they're brought in, because they're not going to Idaho. They're going to California, they're going to New York, they're going to Texas, they're going to North Carolina, they're going to Florida. It doesn't
Potatoes might
affect
be
me.
safe, but strawberries and every single crop that we grow in California, every single crop that we grow in Texas or anywhere else, that is affected. So while potatoes might be safe, the overall trajectory of all of the budget and the economy is bad.
We
It's
also
bad.
import some of those things from other countries too. They're not also
Yeah,
just grown
Trump
here
tariffed
as well.
that. So Trump tariffed all that, so that's going up too.
They're not by what? 2 cents.
Yeah, 20%.
2 cents. You know how
Again,
much bananas cost in Chile when they come here from Del Monte?
again, you're just minimizing the negative effects of
I'm
everything
not.
Trump
I'm
is
asking
doing.
you a question because we're talking about microeconomics, right?
I'm
And
talking
I'm
about
asking you this for a very
talking about
specific
macro.
reason. It's
I
because
don't care for you to try to figure out a way to
this
justify
is your argument that
wrong
you're making, and
beliefs.
I'm giving you layups. I've given you so many layups, bro.
Dude, you're
You
not giving
haven't
me
really
layups.
made.
I'm
I
sitting here
gave
showing
you
you
like 4 layups.
here's the effects of the economy for mass
Mm-hmm.
deportation. Okay, tell me how I'm wrong.
I'm listening.
By 2034, the 4-year policy reduces GDP by 1%. 10-year policy reduces it by 3.3. The budget, the 4-year policy would increase deficits by 270 billion fucking goddamn dollars. And then after feedback,
Why do you need to import people when there's already a populace to do these jobs?
We are in population decline.
Where?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So every state is in population decline.
Yes.
How is that the case?
No one's having kids.
How is it that when we are immigrating people in here and most of the people who are having kids are usually the minorities such as myself when we're in population decline?
I don't know how to, like, this is just the truth. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's just a fact. We're in population
Did you
decline.
see my point of how it's bullshit, right? So
No,
how are we in population
that's not
decline
bullshit.
when we import millions of people and the ones who are mainly having kids are people that look like me? How?
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you, but we are in population
That's
decline.
what I'm telling
We're in
you. That
population
your numbers are bullshit.
They're not bullshit. Sorry.
How is it not bullshit if
We are
you
in
yourself
population
know what
decline.
I just said to
How
be
many
true?
times? How many kids are they? First of all, what population? What percent of the population is whatever culture or demographic you are? What percent of it
Most
is it?
Hispanics,
Okay,
generally most
so
Hispanics, right?
so like less than
have like
20%.
3, 4 plus kids.
Okay, so less than
Most
20% is
black
having a bunch of
people
kids. Cool.
have like at least like 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, right?
I
Most
don't care.
Indians,
Okay, but
when they come here, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids.
we're
Most
still in
people who
population
come from-
decline. Do the math.
How are we in a decline
I'm sorry
when
this is
those
happening to you,
people
man.
are basically?
Are you just telling
That's-
me that everybody on Earth is lying about population decline because Mexicans like to have
Yes.
sex?
Yes.
No.
They're
Sorry.
lying.
That makes you crazy.
That
Sorry.
doesn't make sense.
Everybody can do math besides you. Sorry.
How is it when you go to the grocery store, when you see Abuela and her daughter, the mom, right? And they have like 6 kids with her. And you go to another grocery store, you see the same thing, right? You see there's a family of like 5, 6, 7 kids. How are we in population decline when the people that are here are multiplying like crazy numbers?
Because white people are 60% of the population and we're not.
So white people aren't having kids?
Correct?
So then wouldn't the people who are having 5, 6, 7 kids be holding up the population numbers if white people are
It
having
turns
like
out that they're not
1.5
because we
to
have the fucking
1.8
math,
kids?
dude. We have the math. If you want to start debating facts, like true
But
facts
those
about
are
the world,
just-
I don't know
these
what to
are
tell
basic
you.
numbers.
I don't
These
know
are
what to
basic-
tell
if-
you.
If the Indian lady down the street from me has 6 kids and the white couple down the street has 2 kids,
We
that
have a
means that she
census.
is-
I'm sorry. The lady down the street doesn't mean that the census is wrong, bub. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I'm sorry.
So why does the census count some people as white when they're not white? It's because the census doesn't have a complete data set of the people that live here. Do you know that Middle Eastern people have to say that they're white on the census when they're not white?
Okay, they're still checking something, right? So they're here. We can count births
No,
regardless of
yeah,
race.
yeah.
There we can count
So
births
then
regardless
how
of
does
race.
that make any sense if they also are the ones that's having
I'm so
most
sorry,
of the
man.
kids too,
I'm so
and they're
sorry this
checking
is
white?
happening. I'm so sorry if you don't believe in facts, man. I can't. We don't know. I
Bro.
don't know where else to go.
Bro, how is this a fact? You're reading a number and you're not really investigating the number.
Listen, I'm
asking
sorry.
you to like expand.
My reality is not as malleable as yours. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay in the chat. Thank you so much for the kick. Yeah, we can track births. We can track births. It's not hard. I don't know if that's his hang up, then I guess I win, right? There's nobody that will be able to be convinced that population decline is not happening. It's just a fundamental truth. And you're mush brain if you just can't come to terms with it, I guess. Fucking mush brain. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
It sure is. What up, Pickles? It's 1776 party again. 2 weeks ago we talked.
What's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
Doing well. Well, real quick, I just want to help that last guy. What that last guy doesn't understand is that you are correct. The white folks, or whoever you want to call it, they're not growing the population, because we're at like 1.6 births, and we need to be at 2.1. So just by the numbers, you're right. We're not growing, which is part of the problem. But I don't think he could articulate some of the issues that were going on. Whereas, like, I tried to talk to you about this last time, but you can't quantify the effect of not having all of the illegals here in the job market and the housing market. It just is something that the quality of life would go up in almost every way that, like, your numbers can't even explain it.
That's not a thing. Quality of life wouldn't go up in any way if 4% of the people were gone.
It would go up immeasurably. Like I tried to talk to you last time, look at the schools that have English learner populations. The kids would be able to learn in schools again. Our literacy rates would go up.
We would still have
people
legal
that
migrants that need ESL. We'd have legal
migrants are fine. That's fine. That's such a small population that it's almost
It's a bigger
negligible.
population than undocumented. It's far bigger.
Okay, that's crazy. You're wrong. You're just wrong. Again, we tried to do this last time.
You think that
where
there are
say,
more
oh,
undocumented?
Nobody illegal came over the.
No, I'm asking
What?
you
Go ahead.
legitimately. You think there are more undocumented people than legally present migrants? That's like a
No, I
categorically
think they're
wrong.
Almost, they're probably closer than you think. So let's say there's 50 million people here on visas or otherwise that are legal or what have you. There are probably 20 to 30 million illegals here at minimum, and so. Yeah, I would say it's competing population.
We have 51 million. 70% of you legal migrants. 51 million. So we're roughly 5 times more, because the population of undocumented is roughly 13 million. It's not 30. No one says
13
that.
million that, like, let's call it 10 million that came over just during Biden's administration.
No one says
so
that either.
Just incorrect.
No one says
Dude,
that.
100%.
Can
on
you
my
show
channel,
me a data set
I
that
reviewed
shows
our
that?
debate. Yeah, on my channel, I reviewed our debate last time, and it said you can easily assume that between 5 to 10 million came over the border. You can use Grok, ChatGPT, whatever you want to use, plug it in. How many illegal immigrants flooded the borders, north and south border, during Biden's administration? It's going to tell you between 5 to 10 million. So say what you want. That's what happened.
I know.
What?
You need to ask the complete question. How many people came to the border, and then how many were ejected after that? Right?
Ejected.
We're looking for a net gain? Right?
Yeah, there was.
We did that math. Our Department of
Homeland
Department of Homeland Security did all this math. They did it for you. It's 13 million. That's how many people are here.
Okay, great. Let's just call it 13 million. But like that doesn't account for anybody that was here before.
Yes, it does.
2015. Like
it
there were
accounts for
illegal
people
immigrants here before then.
That's not true. It literally has the numbers broken out of how many people have been here since 1980, and then every 10 years.
Okay, again, let's just say you believe the government on everything they say. This is a government run by fucking people in the Epstein files, so you believe all the data sets coming out of there, but they, you
believe Trump's Truth Social more than actual data.
No, I believe my lived experience. I go to the store. We talked about this last time. I go to the store. I don't see the country that I grew up in. I see a different place, and it's not a place that our founders wanted. It's not the place that was the best country on earth for 200 years.
That's actually
it's
wrong.
A different place.
Our founders actually wrote tons of letters saying that this was something that they hoped to see for what was the argument I had the other day? I believe it was Thomas Jefferson who had the idea that this was a country for all people to seek asylum.
Yes, you can use Thomas Jefferson as a reference. He is one of the most wavering opinions on assimilation and naturalization because he wanted a mass flood of immigrants to build his country. And when he got the country, you can see that he changed his opinion. Him and Alexander Hamilton had heated debates about this. He wrote a long, extensive argument
because he disagreed with Jefferson. Jefferson wrote early on in the State of Virginia papers that he wanted to be very strict on who got in and why. When they were building America, he said, let's open it up. We need to make a nation. When they got the nation to a place where they felt a little more comfortable, he then changed his opinion again and said, we need to close it back down, and naturalization should take a longer time, should be more strict. So you're using someone that wavered a lot.
Again,
I can tell you Jefferson's
same with
opinion
you.
way more strict.
Yeah, so same with you, and I feel like you're just cherry picking certain opinions of people that at certain points in time, and I don't really care. I don't really care for those people's ideas. They're not
You're going
here
to
in
say these guys are
2026.
evil. I know you're going to say the
No,
founding
I'm just saying-
fathers that made the best country ever are evil. I get it. That's
No,
a
I
crazy
don't care
argument,
for
and
that.
that's something that you've been brainwashed into thinking.
No, I just don't care to think about what some old person really, really wanted for us, no matter
They
how
made
bad
our
they
country.
wanted
They
it.
wrote the
I don't.
Constitution. Do you,
I
do you
don't
not
care.
care about the Constitution?
Y'all
So you don't
don't.
care about the Constitution?
Y'all don't.
Why?
They told
So
us that
you
we were
live
going to
in
reshape.
America, the country that's laws are dictated by the Constitution, but you don't care about that document?
I do. I do way more than MAGA. Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I'm. Change, move the goalpost. That's fine. I'm asking, do you care about the Constitution? Because the Constitution and the things that they put into that are what founded the nation, and we've moved
I get
far
that.
from
I don't.
that.
I don't have some like weird divine belief about the Constitution. In fact, they didn't either. They said it was going to be reshaped every 20, 30 years, didn't they? So
But it was
I
so
don't worship
perfect
it.
that they didn't. It's never. It was so good the first time that it's never been reshaped. Right? We just
False.
amended it a
We've
few
made
times.
plenty of amendments. Plenty. We had to give women
Let-
rights. We had to give black people rights. All sorts of things.
Well, some people would argue that a lot of those weren't necessarily good moves, but you would
We
agree.
know.
You would disagree
And
with me
thank
on
God that
so
I
that's
don't
fine.
have to defend that position.
I mean, I
Don't
guess
forget
whatever.
about the
You think
Second
a bunch of
Amendment.
women voting and dictating the direction of our country is a good thing. I guess that's how you feel, but whatever.
If you don't think women should vote,
I don't think people that aren't bought in. I think you should have to be put into the draft or voluntary fire department service if you want to be a voter. So that's what I think. I think largely, again, going back to my constitutionalist beliefs, you should be here for a certain set of years or born here. You should own land. You should be bought into the practices of America. You should be assimilated, and you should have skin in the game, whether that's you serve in the country, the armed services, or you
I
sign
can
up for the
see
draft. Or
how conservatives, they do, and they're very selective on who they want to vote because they don't feel like they can represent everybody, and the liberals can. So we represent all people.
Well, you should be
rich
selective
or
on who
poor.
you want to vote because you don't want your country run by the lowest common denominator. You want your country run by people that are educated and have decision-making power greater than the lowest person, lowest IQ. Like, that's not who you want running the country. So, yeah, I think it should be a little bit stricter on who we let just cast a vote to run our country. You're correct.
Yeah, and that is very un-American. So
It's not un-American.
it is very un-American against just about every single one of our founding fathers' beliefs, actually. So
Not. The Constitution said you had to be a free white man to vote. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not nearly going there. If you go back to the earliest days in America, black people are founding Americans. They're heritage Americans. They were here since 1600. So I'm not saying anything about race. I'm saying the founding fathers wrote into the documents how they wanted the country to operate.
Okay.
We don't operate like that anymore,
Again,
and we're showing the
so
signs of the failures.
here's what I've quantified. You think that removing undocumented people is going to have some sort of effect on how you perceive your grocery store visits, on the amount of
No,
diversity that you're going to experience as a
kids
person,
receive
and
the
it's
nation
not.
that we give them.
It's
How our
not.
kids receive the future nation that we give them. That's what I'm most
Yeah,
concerned
and
about.
you're going for a fractured, divided, racist, white supremacist nation, and we are
Not at all. So you're putting words in my mouth. I've never said anything like that. I actually just advocated that black people are some of the most heritage Americans that are here. So I think America should look largely like it looked in the mid 1800s as far as the population. We should be 80, 90% white, right? We should have a 10 to 12% black population, and then the rest should be, let's call it made up of a very few fragments of foreigners that are here partaking in the American dream, right?
So, this is like you saying these things. I want you to know, like, to somebody who's normal, who's not indoctrinated, who's not ultra nationalist, this sounds very far right. This sounds very radical. You are very radicalized
That's
to the
fine.
normal person.
Those are like buzzwords that you like to use to make people feel bad. They no longer make people feel bad. I
know.
love that you think I'm a nationalist because I am a nationalist. I think America is greater than any country ever.
said
and we should do
ultra-nationalist.
everything in our power to protect the rights of Americans. And if you don't think that, I think that's un-American.
Okay, I just think that the difference between somebody who is a nationalist, who like me, I love my country, but I don't have this weird idea that it's the best in every way, like for some arbitrary reason.
It's
like,
not anymore.
Okay, but you can't name a time in which it was, and you can't tell me what metrics it was the best at.
1980. Go back to 1980, baby.
What
Best
were the
country ever.
metrics?
Everything was good.
What metrics were we
You're
killing
just
it
throwing
at?
shit out there.
Yeah. What metric? So like right now we can look at
look at the movies we had in the theaters. Look at everybody was
All right.
owning homes. You could be a mailman and own a house and a lake house. You could have a boat. You could have 3 cars, one of them being a Corvette. That was called the American dream, dude. You could live with the mom staying at home, taking care of the kids, raising a family while the dad goes to work and provides.
Before Reagan deleted the middle class with his bullshit policies, yes, that was the truth.
Okay, yeah, great. I'm just saying, let's go back to
you
that.
want
How
more
do
of
we get
that.
back to that? What can we do to
you're
get back to
working
that?
against yourself there. You are getting more tax
what
cuts.
can we do to get back to an America that looks more like the 80s and 90s?
Okay, again, you have to think critically, all right? You have to think policies. You can't just think left
I
or
do
right.
think critically. Pickles, you tried this last time. You keep saying this shit. Like, I do think critically. How am
I
I not
wanted to
thinking
be like the
critically?
1980s, but the economy. Well, what happened in the 1980s that made the economy so much different? Gee, I don't fucking know. Conservatives fucked up the economy for the rest of us.
You're going back to all these metrics of like, I want to be, the numbers don't support. I don't care about the numbers. I care about what it looked like and the feeling of being in America in the 80s and 90s. Because if you bring that back, what will ultimately happen is America will thrive. Manufacturing will come back. American pride will come back. People will start having babies again. To your point earlier, we're not having babies. People will start having babies because the economy will get better.
In order for us to do that, we got to do the opposite of what made it bad, right? We have to not do Republican conservative policies that fuck up the economy.
We have to not let a bunch of people into our country who aren't American and change the values and the fabric of our nation.
That wasn't what hurt the economy. It was Reagan's tax cuts.
What hurt America?
Yeah, Reagan's tax cuts.
Dude, I'm not talking about Reagan's tax cuts. You keep doing this where you go back to these like specific things. I'm talking about, y'all were talking earlier about why is deportation good? Name a way that makes mass deportation positive. Well, if you don't have to compete in the housing market with a bunch of illegals who are here not basically partaking in the tax the way that you are and having to pay all of the things that you have to pay, they're getting free health care in some cases, they're getting free child care in some cases. So when those people are spending their dollars, even if they're getting paid a lower wage, they're not spending their money on other things. So they're being able to put it directly towards a home or sending some of it back to their country of origin, which is taking money out of our economy. So if you get rid of all of those people, the benefit for actual Americans is immeasurable. It's huge.
All right, I'm gonna do you a favor.
I'm
gonna type this into the Googles. Mass deportation effects on housing prices.
Why do you let Google dictate how you feel about stuff?
Mass deportation is projected to significantly impact housing prices by creating conflicting pressures, reducing housing demand for removed residents while simultaneously driving up construction costs, ultimately accelerating the housing affordability crisis. Good job.
Cool. So let Google tell you how to feel about everything. I'm going to tell you that I don't really care what Google, your little chatbot says. So
ask
I'm
anybody.
telling you how Americans.
Ask Grok. Ask anybody. Is there anybody that agrees with you? Ask
You're
anybody.
so willing to fall back onto a chatbot. How about we do things that are actually quantitative? How about we talk about things that are measurable, right? How do we take steps to make the country better?
I'm measuring that what you're doing to the country is fucking it up.
Like what? What am
Mass
I doing to the country
deportation
that's fucking it up?
Mass deportation is fucking up this country's economy. Real bad.
Okay, so let's just do this. Let's take a little bit step back. What are you quantifying what Trump is doing as mass deportation? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so by the numbers, we've already talked about this. Obama deported more. Biden deported more. So they did mass deportations too, but again, you think because they did it quietly while being on CNN, doing ride-alongs, putting it on the news, bragging about the numbers, telling people they're going out before people go to work so they can catch them on their way to work, bragging about that on CNN, that's doing it softly?
Yes. So if
Obama
Obama had
speeches
three times, if Obama had speeches like 3 times a year demonizing immigrants and also tripling the budget of how we're doing it, and also
if you're willing to look it up, there are
into
plenty of
sanctuary
speeches
cities
where Obama talks about getting rid of illegals. He does. He talks about it
he does it very
specifically and
gently.
illicitly.
He does it unifyingly. Yeah.
Oh, so he uses soft little language and that makes it okay?
Yes. When you have a leader
crazy.
that
You're
does
insane.
harmful rhetoric, like Hitler, like Trump, like Mussolini, like all those people, yes, it turns the nation to a bad place.
Okay, well, if you compare everybody to Hitler and Mussolini, you're right. You're going to make people sound really evil. If like you could do the same thing with Obama and pluck one little thing and say, hey, what American president actually murdered an American citizen while in office? Oh, that would be Obama. He killed a guy in Yemen, ordered the airstrike, killed and murdered an American citizen. But it's like, oh man, let's not pluck little things out to make people look bad and actually look at the issues that I'm talking about. But you're unwilling to do that.
disgruntled
You
about
keep
that
moving the
at the
goalposts.
time. Trump is far worse. Trump has removed 12 million
Oh
Americans
yeah,
off of
but
health
murdering an
care.
American by actually calling the airstrike is worse. You're going to be like, oh, he killed 2 people in Minnesota with ICE. No, a guy did a dumb thing and went and fought police while he was armed. That got him killed. Another person tried to run police over. That got her killed. So your argument's flawed. Sorry.
Okay, again, Trump has caused more harm to this nation, whether one human person died or whether now we are locked into like an authoritarian regime that's taking and nationalizing elections under the executive branch. And
So the authoritarian regime that willingly handed over the keys last time, he just gave the keys of power over willingly. He's now the authoritarian.
After causing a riot at the Capitol?
Listen to his words. He didn't cause a riot. He said we're going to walk to the Capitol peacefully. Like he didn't say that we're going to go down there and riot. He didn't do any of that.
It was a total good
now,
leader thing to do.
You want to look at some of the direct quotes of the left where they talk about inciting violence? We could do that, but you're not going to do that. You're going to say, "Oh, Trump is evil. He's a fascist. He's Hitler."
Overthrowing free and fair elections.
Fake elector scheme.
Fake elector scheme.
Have you seen all of the recent court cases that are showing direct election fraud in 2020? Have you taken a look at any of that?
Not a single one has.
Have
made
the ballot stuffing?
Not
all
a single
of that.
one?
Like there's literally people being arrested for the things that they did in 2020. The cases are still going on, so there's not like a direct thing to say, oh, this person was charged and it's been proven, but the cases are open. People are being investigated. Let's just wait.
Trump had fake electors. He like undoubtedly tried to steal the election.
Okay.
Didn't he?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Didn't he?
I don't know. No, he didn't.
He didn't have fake electors?
I don't. Again, you're probably referencing something. I'm not sure. Fake electors.
Yeah.
Like
so, you guys are so bamboozled. You guys are so bamboozled that you guys don't even know the indictment that Trump got for trying to steal the election. He just cried about bullshit for 4 years straight, so you guys wouldn't pay attention. But he had an indictment in D.C. for having fake electors, and he had 3 felony charges. But he basically sent fake people to each swing state that he lost, and he made them pose as the real electors, and he even had fake affidavits and fake letters of ascertainment with fake seals. The fake Georgia seal, signed and stamped. He literally tried to steal the election. You don't give a fuck. You want to find some lady pushing a bucket of votes underneath the table. You want to look at that all day.
How about both are bad? How about we look at both and investigate both, right? I'm not willing to turn a blind eye because I'm a Republican, right? I don't think Trump's God and unfallible. So let's look at that. Let's investigate it. I'm willing to say, yeah, let's look at all counts of election fraud because I don't want elections to be secure.
I don't want anyone near the office of the presidency who's had anything to do with that, all right? I didn't elect anybody who was accused
You probably think
fraud.
Nixon, it was like the person that instigated Watergate still. So you just don't know. It's fine. I don't really value your opinion at this point. So that's great. But it's not well researched. So
it's not well. We had 1,600-page document from from the special the special prosecutor, Jack Smith.
On what?
On all of this stuff. He also released 600 more pages like a few weeks before the election, showing even more very damning stuff. Y'all didn't care.
No, I do care. That's what I'm saying. So if that's the case and there's a case to be made, let's hold him accountable. Where are the charges? Let's bring him up, right? Let's bring up
when
the
he
charges.
was elected. When he was elected president, he got rid of the special prosecutor. He got rid of all of the investigations. He did a bunch of stuff that he'll no longer.
All right. Well, if he
be
doesn't
held
get
accountable
elected for a third term, we'll see if they investigate him when he steps down.
Sure.
That was a joke. I'm trolling. Come on.
Like he'll step down.
Let's talk about something different. Let's change directions. How do you feel about dudes competing in women's sports, Pickles? Where are you at on that?
So I think that you guys handled this the least graceful way possible. You did this in a way that just basically gives everyone a knee-jerk reaction, makes them hate trans people. You're not actually interested in figuring out the best way to deal with this. And if we look at what we have control of, which would be like the NCAA, like the National League of People in College Athletes, it's a league of 500,000 people. How many trans people do you think were in there?
I don't know, but I know that it takes so few because your number is going to be very small. That's going to kind of prove the point. There was so few, but the one that decided they wanted to be a swimmer went from like 450th in the dudes
to first or second in the
No,
women's
it was
because they
fifth.
decided they wanted to compete with
It
a
was
lower
they
class,
tied for
like
fifth.
wanted to compete against the women.
They tied for fifth, and
So
we have 11 people in college athletes that were trans, 5 of which were just gender fluid. This was a non-issue. You guys were tricked into making this a big deal.
I'm not tricked. Those are 11.
They were.
That's 11 people that need super dedicated mental assessments and make sure they got everything going on in there, and then
They
let's
have
get them
that
some
handled.
help.
They have that handled.
Oh, they do. They do because they think they're like dressing up as the opposite sex is the way to handle it.
That's what the medical
you
community
think,
would tell them to do, right? If they had gender
do
dysphoria,
you
they'd tell them.
do you have kids or do you face the like? Do you want to have kids someday, Pickles?
No.
No. Okay. So if you did
I
have
have
a little girl, you'd be totally fine with her competing with dudes in
I
football,
would be
hockey, whatever
ecstatic. I
sport
would
she
be
decides to
ecstatic
play.
that she would be able to be in
You'd
proximity.
be ecstatic.
Yes.
So
that
your
she
little
would be
girl
able to
gets
have an
plowed
encounter.
over by some dude that puts on a dress one day and like knocks her front teeth out, and you're like,
That's never
I'm
happened.
so happy you got to play against a dude with
Again-
testosterone on your women's sports field.
Yes, that's never happened. That's never happened, and it's not going to
It's
happen.
never happened, dude. I coach in a soccer league where there are children that are under 10, and there are little boys that play in the girls' league because they think they're girls. So I know it happens. I see it happen every weekend. It's a huge problem, Pickles, where you got little boys dressing up like girls and being told it's okay. Sometimes they're encouraged or hidden from their parents and done with the teachers. It's like, this is a huge problem.
Hey, man,
and you think it's cool? You think
How
it's
young are
encouraged?
they? How young are they?
The lowest one that I know for sure is 7. There's a 7-year-old little boy whose parents are telling him he's a girl, letting him play on the girls' soccer team, and it's fucking
Hey, man,
disgusting.
when does
And I can't
puberty
say anything because I have to be
Hey, man,
socially acceptable.
when does puberty start?
I don't care when puberty starts. You
So
don't want to
it's-
mentally
so-
warp a little kid's fragile little mind because
So,
you want to get social
again-
points with your buddies.
Again, all you're doing is you're just strawmanning the
I'm thinking
medical
about the kids. No,
science
all I'm doing is thinking
surrounding
about the
this.
kids, Pickles.
There's-
I'm
this
thinking
is
about
medical.
the kids. I'm a
We're
father.
talking about
I'm a
science.
protector. I'm a
Yeah.
provider, and I'm thinking
And
about
you're
the kids. They're hurting the
arbitrarily
kids.
trying to protect them from science.
Science? What do you don't want to talk about science? You think girls can be boys? Don't bring science up, dude. That's whack.
Again, this is just people who are affected by gender dysphoria if they identify as something else.
Yeah,
The
they have a
science,
mental disease.
the
Go get
science,
help, but you don't tell them
the
that they're okay
science-
and like
The science
don't
says.
encourage it. You don't
Stop,
encourage somebody
stop,
that wants to
stop.
cut off part of their
This
body.
is
right?
you being against science, all right? I'm going to tell you what the science says, and then you give me your opinion, all right? The science says
Okay,
that
cool.
if kids are experiencing these things and they know what gender, they start experiencing genders by the time they're 3 all the way to 7, they can experience these things, and they go to a doctor and they go to a therapist for years. They're not tricked into this by their parents. They
If
go to
my
a doctor,
kid started feeling
and the
something, I wouldn't take
doctor.
him to a doctor. I'd sit him
Yes.
down and I'd have a conversation with him. I don't let a doctor, sort of how you let a chatbot dictate your
Again,
feelings.
so
I don't
you-
let a
you don't believe in
doctor
science. I
dictate
get
how
it.
I parent.
I get it. So you don't believe in science. I get it.
No, I believe
That's
in
you.
parenting.
That's on
Yeah, I
you.
believe in parenting my child.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but you're not parenting them if you're not seeking.
That means you don't let your
professional-
little kid who you wouldn't let get a tattoo tell you that they want to start permanently affecting the chemistry of their body. You wouldn't let them go get a tattoo on their face when they're 4, but when they're 4, you want to let them start, experimenting with gender fluidity.
So
That's insane.
if we had science that showed that tattoos were stopping them from killing themselves, then I would be all for it. But that's not what
The
we
science,
have.
so bring up killing themselves. The science shows that if you let it play out, like 90% of them will grow out of it by the time they're 18. So the science says, and the rate of suicide is the same before and after any gender.
That's not true. That's a lie.
affirming care. It is.
That's a
it
lie.
is true.
It's
No,
cut in
look
half.
it up. Look it up right now.
I do.
Look
I
it
do.
up. Bring
I
it
do
up
this
on your
every day.
chat.
I
Bring
do.
it up on your little chat bot.
I will.
Chat. Type it in.
Yeah.
Is suicide rate for transgender individuals the same, or what is it before and what is it after
Transgender people
gender
who
affirming care?
Here you go. Transgender people who receive gender affirming medical care have lower prevalence of suicidal thoughts and attempts than those who need it but not have received it, according to new fact sheet by Williams Institute, UCLA Law School. Here's another one. Mental health outcomes in transgender non-binary. This is the NIH. The abstract, transgender and non-binary youths are disproportionately burdened by poor mental health outcomes owing to decreased social support from people like you, and increased stigma and discrimination from people like you. Although gender-affirming care is associated with decreasing long-term adverse mental health outcomes among these youths, less is known about associated with mental health immediately after initiation of care.
Do another search. Frame it like this: how many kids, if not given gender-affirming care, grow out of gender dysmorphia?
Dysphoria.
Do that. Dysmorphia. Yeah, I can misspeak just like you
Do
can.
children grow out of gender dysphoria? Research
No,
indicates
not
that
what I
a
said. I said,
significant.
what are the percentages of kids? What
That's what I
percentage of
got.
kids who have gender dysphoria? What'd you get?
Research
What'd you
indicates a
get?
significant number of children with pre-pubertal gender dysphoria, 65 to 90, in some studies, stop identifying as transgender or experiencing distress after puberty. Phenomenon often called desistance.
Okay, so you said between 60 and 90% grow out of it. That's cool. That's what I was talking about. So I would equate this to the same thing. You grew up in Texas. You told me this last time. I'm about 40. You're almost 40. So let's take a look at goth kids. How many goth kids are there in their 40s? They're not that many, but go back to high
Goth is
school,
a
Pickles. I
fad.
know you went to high school. I know you went to high school. If you went to high school in Texas, you saw goth kids. There were goth kids. There might have been kickers at your high school, right? You know the groups, but how many of them are still dressing like that and acting like that in their
That's a
40s?
fad.
They grow out of
be
it, right?
kids in
They
their
grow out of it
40s.
because their brain chemistry changes.
That's a
That's
fad.
what happens with little transgender
So
kids.
most of the people who receive gender affirming care under the age of 18, it is not permanent. In fact, 99.99999% of it is not permanent. It's things like changing your pronouns, painting your fingernails, wearing a dress. That's what you're scared of.
I'm not scared of it. It's crazy that you would encourage your kid to do that. It's
I would be
it's
all for
not
it.
normal.
If it helped them not commit suicide, I'm all for it.
You
That's what
would be
science
all
says.
for it, but you don't want kids, so that's a good thing. Let's not have more queers running around school. That's not what we want.
I
There's
think you're
enough
just
of that.
I think you're just
So,
homophobic or transphobic.
I'm not. I'm Christian. I don't want that like influencing our kids. If you want to do that as an adult, that's
exercising
fine,
my
but don't
kick.
push it on the kids. They're definitely pushing on the kids in schools. Either way, we were talking about trans.
All right.
I'm done, man.
Infectious.
I'm done. I can't.
Exercises kick. Thank you for the kick, Infectious. Much love. What I would say to
Can
that
I
is,
really quick?
yeah.
I have a quick mod announcement to everybody in the audience. That was not me talking.
Oh yeah.
I had acts of hate so vile thrown at me, which immediately they need to be thrown at him. Yes, he deserved every fucking thing you guys said to me. But I had so many of you guys adding me thinking I was the one talking.
Yeah, guys.
I was not. I was sitting here muted and quiet. I'm a mod.
Yeah.
Please don't hate on me, guys.
Woof, 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 woof.
I was, oh my God. I was
mean, it goes to
chomping
show
on this end.
People who are indoctrinated with the Christian belief or with most religious ideologies absolutely do fetishize gender roles, and like anybody who like a dude dressing like, you know, feminine or whatever, it really turns them off, and it really just illustrates how not inclusive they are, how the problem starts with them and their indoctrination, not with kids exploring how they can express themselves. That doesn't hurt anyone's feelings besides them. It's just them.
Right. And notice, as soon as he realized that he got completely annihilated on policy, he went straight to a social issue.
Yeah.
Something that he could actually try to make an argument for just out of hatred.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, like their hangups were like their very limited understanding on economics, doubting literal facts on population growth, on the effects of mass deportation on the economy. Every single person who's projected the outcomes of mass deportation says it's bad. There's not anybody who says it's good. That's just a lie.
And don't forget, I mean,
they've lied by omission.
I was just going to say, the U.S. tried it once. The U.S. tried it once. We had Operation, and I'm not going to say the word, but Operation W word for our southern brown folk friends. I'm gardening. I'm a little out of my head.
Same.
But we had Operation W word back in, what was that, with the mid-60s?
Rhymes with
something like that?
Schmack. Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's the one I'm talking about. And we already tried that. We saw the economic impact of it. So when you sit there and say, well, you can't point to anything. Yeah, we can. We can point to exactly what happened.
641 super chatted $5. How many parents would pull their kids off his team hearing this caller? I know I would. He can damage kids with his hate.
I agree. I feel like that is far worse to espouse in front of children. Like these types of opinions is far worse and damaging. And it's already done to his kids. So like if your kids hear you talking about trans people or talking about the white race and the future of the country in regards to minorities, you're teaching kids like a framework of thinking that is inherently othering and hateful, and as opposed to like somebody on our side, our indoctrination would look like, hey, stop hating everybody. Everybody's the same. Hey, these types of people
I
exist.
mean, don't forget, I had to bring this up in a conversation with a friend of mine the other day because we were talking about all this kind of stuff, and he's a Trump supporter. And I was trying to bring up, the fascist ideology here in the United States, and he was like, well, we've never been fascist. And I was like, have you never studied history? Look back to the 1930s and 40s in the United States. We literally had a Yahtzee gathering in Madison Square Garden, a massive one. Those people never left. Those people were still here. Those people had children. They raised children to think like themselves, and that just continued. And that's never gone away. It's just gotten loud.
Agreed. Yet those are the Democrats. Those were the Democrats who started KKK. Even though I also think just like the KKK.
And if you think that, then you also have to think that millions of people over the course of less than a decade completely switched their political ideologies. En masse. If you can't acknowledge that the party switch happened.
The weird guest didn't have a handle. They are on TikTok somewhere as like 1776 something, but they called in on the Google phone, y'all. Pay $40, permanent mute Cecil from the chat. Cecil's
I don't know.
necessary evil.
Cecil's had his ups and downs.
He's a necessary evil. We'll keep him around.
He's not bad. I know as a mod, I like to pick on him every great now and again, but
chat.
there was a night that we did friendlies that Cecil came up and he was all nice and shit. Huh. I warned him. Remember, he had to be behaved.
Yeah, Cecil's okay. He's okay. His ideas are
because you'd gotten burned out on another white nationalist.
Yeah, his ideas are bad, but Cecil seems like a decent guy. Comes up here and says some nice things. That's okay. Yeah, the anti-climate change stuff, Cecil. I don't know why you want to talk to me about that. You should go talk to Dr. Blitz. Go talk to Dr. Blitz.
Talk to Voris Valkai. He would love to talk to you about climate change.
That tattoo on my hand, it's from this last year. What up, Artemis? Chat, I'm getting a little boogered
Artemis.
out. Getting a little boogered out, y'all. Dr. Greg, too.
You gonna go game or?
Possibly.
Maybe. Oh.
Artemis, yeah, come.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can I accept? Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
Hey, Artemis, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I was gonna show you the tattoo on phase 1.
Oh.
Yeah, remember I was getting that done?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll show you real quick. Hold on here. There we go. So we got it all mapped out.
Nice.
And then we got the blocking done here. In the first session, he's freaking incredible. If you can kind of see, let me see if I can turn the phone around so y'all can see the kind of.
Wow.
Nice.
That is a really sharp outline.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah, it's basically he did it with like a gray. He's like it's gonna basically look like cat scratches, but I mean he did this in it. He did the outline in an hour.
Wow.
It helps it fade into the color. When he starts filling in all the color, doing it in those grays like that, it gives it a more realistic look instead of it looking cartoonish.
Yeah, but this is Rexy from Jurassic Park, in case people don't know. And then this is the scene from Jurassic World. She's gonna have the flare in her hand right here.
Oh,
and
tight.
When she goes into Rexy's enclosure, but I changed this a little bit because I wanted it to be a less I wanted it to be a little bit more of a full body shot. But then also behind her, which you won't see here, but I'm getting a nebulous cloud behind her to represent like the beginning of creation, which is where we all stemmed from. And then the fact that, like, if you think about it, dinosaurs and humans, the only thing that is different is how our DNA is organized. And of course, it would be the amount of chromosomes that we have, but we're made of the same material, even though we're millions of years apart.
That's awesome.
So it's a combination of like just basically the circle of life, and also represents like feminine rage, because Rexy is always like, if people don't know this, I'm just gonna say this really quick. If people don't know this, Jurassic Park is like a feminist tale. In case people don't know that, there's a lot about like feminism in it, because it's all about like life finds a way. All the dinosaurs are female, and specifically, the women in the Jurassic Park films don't necessarily try to lean on the male characters for help. If you think about it, especially in the original, I really love Ellie Sattler.
Someone said they're all female dinos.
Yep, they're all
Sight.
female.
Sight.
Yeah, my favorite thing ever was like when someone was like, when they were doing the new Jurassic movies, they were like, they better not put trans people in it, and I was like, oh boy. Do I have news? People were like, "Ooh, oh God, did you not watch the original?"
You didn't watch it at all, man.
Yeah, exactly.
There was lots of them, and lots of them.
Yeah, so I'm really excited, but I wanted to definitely show that off because it's healing right now. But the tattoo artist I'm going to. He said I sit really well. I always like to outdo the guys that are there. I don't know why. I feel like it's a competition. Like, if I see a guy flinching, I'm like, I can't show any expression. I got to sit here. Like, it just doesn't feel like anything at all. So,
Yeah, you might as well have fun with it.
yeah, I had a blast. They had, I came in like, Jump Street 2 was on the TV. So I'm like listening, because I was going to stream it. I was going to stream me getting the tattoo. And then I came in, I was like, oh, Jump Street 2 is on? Yeah, I can't stream with that in the background. And then they put Team America on, and I'm like, oh, I really can't stream with that in the background. So it was fun. He's really nice though, because I told him my budget, and he was like, hey, I might tattoo over that, like your budget, but he's like, I'm not going to charge you more than that. He said, because I like to get to certain stopping points with my work. He's like, so if we reach the time limit, and I want to go further, then I'll just go further and I won't charge you for it. So I'm really, really happy. And how's your tattoo healing up? I know you had that red pigment issue, Pickles.
Better. I got to get it touched up, but a lot better.
It does look a lot better. Yeah, that was
It's
so
good.
random. Had you never had red pigment before, or was it just the just that one?
No, I have most of my tattoos are all red.
So maybe it was just that brand.
Yeah.
That's weird. But yeah, thank you for allowing me to share. Did y'all have a good night?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, have a good night, Artemis.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on and get on my game and run a bunch of hardcore dungeons and yap on Discord some shit and fart jokes.
What game are you playing?
Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, Final Fantasy. Okay, I'm going through Grounded right now with my partner.
Nice.
So that we can play Grounded too. Yeah, it's definitely interesting because we played it when it first came out, and then all the updates happened. So now we're going back through it. So, well, y'all have fun. Thanks for letting me come up.
You too.
Yeah, love you both. I'll see you around.
Much love, Artie.
Make sure y'all are
Alright,
following Pickles
catch
and
you later.
Infectious. Let me do my mod duties before I leave. Hold on, I forget I'm a mod here. Make sure you send in heartbeats. Make sure that you guys follow Infectious and Pickles if you're not already following. And make sure that you tune in for the next live. Definitely. And have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
All right, catch you later. Thanks again, Infectious. Much love, man.
Yep, no problem, brother. Take her easy.
All right. Chat. I am gonna be getting off. Don't forget to follow. I will see y'all tomorrow. I have no other announcements to make, I think. think that's it. I love y'all, chat. Catch you later.